than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen and I am here all by my lonesome, by myself tonight. I got all this room, none of these tuckmen and these girly Shirley issues that I have to deal with. I got the whole room to myself, and it's going to be a fun night because it's Friday. It's VIP night. Very important player, and we will be waiting for you to cast your votes as who you think was the best player tonight in this 10-20 blind no-limit hold'em game. It's an unrestricted buy-in no-limit hold'em game, and we see thousands of dollars in cash chips on the table. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's get to the action, and we are going to go around and introduce the table. Start off with seat 1. It's the Greek poker god, George. Seat number 2 is the host of this game, Mo. In seat 3, we've got Action Joe Wynn. Seat 4, we've got Sean. Seat number 5, we've got the ever-lovable Jesus. Seat 6, the myth, the legend, it's Barry Woods, 2+2 favorite. Seat number 7, we've got, looks like a new player to the game. I don't know if he's ever played this high, Jack Bogassian. In seat 8, we've got Kenny Wynn. And we've got chips over there in seat 9, and we'll get the name of the player as soon as possible as we can get that name, and we're going to get into the first hand here.
200.
We can see the board here. It's multi-way action. We're entering this hand midway through the middle of this hand here. 8-8-4-3 on board. And I believe that Mo has bet here with Ace-Jack. Couple of overcards on the button, and he's going to take it down. Now, the prize for tonight for the best player or combination of best plays is 2 ground tickets to the Target World Challenge Golf Tournament hosted by Tiger Woods, either this Saturday or Sunday, December 10th or 11th. And this is actually next week. This is a PGA golf tournament. I believe it's in Thousand Oaks, California. They can choose either Saturday or Sunday, December 10th or 11th, courtesy of Extra Sports right here in LA. AM 640. 710, excuse me. AM 710 Extra Sports here in LA. So here we go. Let's get into the next hand here. We got Barry Woods in seat 6. He's going to raise it up to 40. Jack 7 offsuit he has. Seat 1's going to call there.
That's a great raise. Oh man, I thought the pocket 8 raise.
And we got a call it there by
3 players.
Jesus. Jesus actually has Jack 7. Barry Ope led it out there with Ace 10, excuse me. So he's the pre-flop raiser with Ace 10. Queen 7-6 here with a couple clubs comes on board. $120 pot. And Barry likes to make these continuation bets. He's going to bet here. And it looks like no one really got a piece of this. Jesus has got second pair. Barry bet 90 here. George has got a gut shot to the 8. And he's going to make the call. He makes a $90 call. And let's see if Jesus comes in with Jack 7. He makes the call as well. So here we go to the turn. The turn is a 6. It's about a $300 pot. Jesus checks, George checks, and Barry takes the card, and George checks. And the river here is a queen, and Jesus has the best hand here with queens and 7s. Check by Jesus, check by Barry, and George gives up, and Jesus is going to take down a $300 pot there with Jack 7.
Queens up.
There it is. There, the Jesus. Seat 5 taking the first pot of the night down there. Got a red shirt on tonight. Hat that says Jackpots. So if you want to follow a thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com. Spelled out. Click on forums. Click on mid and high stakes. Pot and no limit hold'em. And we are right there. You can also email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, always appreciated.
No problem.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 4. Pot looks like it's going to be limped around.
This much.
And Jesus has got ace-queen offsuit, and he's going to raise here from the cutoff. He's going to make it 140 to go. A couple people had limped in front, or more than a couple people limped in front. Get some of those limpers out of there. George Mox. Now, Mo's got pocket sixes, and he's going to make the call. He's actually going to check. He's actually going to limp re-raise to 300. So Jesus made it 140, and Mo limp re-raise to 300, and Jesus called.
I took the 20 in from everybody.
And we've got about a $700 pot here going heads up. And Jesus actually raised out of the small blind, so Mo had his position at him. And Jesus flops top pair here. Queen, deuce, 3. Not a bad flop for pocket sixes. And Mo's going to bet 500. 500 into a $700 pot. Let's see what Jesus does here. He's out of position. He's in the small blind. And he's going to check raise all in. He's going to check raise all in. We'll see how much more it is. It was a $500 bet by Mo. It looks like it's about 1,400 total. So 1,400, so it's about, I want to say 900 more for Mo here. And actually, we're getting word that it's actually about 1,900 straight, so it's 1,400 more for Mo to call. And the pot right now, I want to say, is about $3,000. It's a $3,000 pot, and it's about 1,400 for Mo to call. And Mo says, I think you have a flush draw.
It's not the bluff night. It is the...
It is not bluff night.
You can buy it for a 6-pack of 12.
And Jesus seems pretty comfortable with himself here.
Only him is gonna see.
I mean, Mo, he's looking at one overcard, and Jesus can definitely make this move. The other thing that Mo has to take into consideration, he can't beat pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s. And Mo says, you show one card, I lay it down. And Jesus says, no, I'm not going to.
He can't show one card. It means two of them is hard. Two hard there, and then if he show one...
Again, it's about a $3,000 pot. 1,400 for Mo to call. He's looking at one overcard, and Jesus is in great shape right here. He is in great shape. And look at Mo. He's trying to get a read here.
Looks like you're gonna get the money.
He's trying to get a read.
Well, 14
This is really something with these, loose, aggressive players like Jesus, Corporation Mike. They could make this move with a flush draw. He could make this move with 4-5. Does Mo want to pick his spots better here? He's already committed $800 to this hand. And I think that Mo has him covered. So, again, it's a $3,000 pot. And Mo's going to make the correct laydown. And Jesus shows the queen. And he takes it down. Nice little hand there, starter up tonight.
I don't care. I would have pulled you in a heartbeat, man. I would have queen with a draw to the flush. Jesus is a solid player. He doesn't bluff.
And there's Barry says, Jesus is a solid player. He doesn't bluff. But we know that that's probably not true. He does bluff a lot. And sometimes when he goes on rushes, he'll raise with any two cards. And he'll make one continuation bet on the flop. Sometimes you can call him when he goes on those rushes on the flop with any two cards, because if he shuts down on the turn, you can take it away from him. Jesus has the button in seat 5.
So we gotta put a call like this every time we fold, huh?
No,
If you want to play the
Got a limp over here. Action Joe Wynn's going to limp in base rag suited. Jesus is going to limp in with 10-8.
4 players.
We've got 4-way action. $40 pot. Jack, Jack 4 with a couple of clubs. Joe's got the nut flush draw over there in seat 4. Let's see if Joe's going to bet through it in seat 3. No, he's checks.
I'm saying
And Jesus is going to bet. He's going to bet 50. He's betting about the pot. And actually, the pot is $80. We're playing 10-20 blinds here, so he's bet less than the pot. And Joe Wynn's going to check raise.
No, this is harder than a rack.
And Jesus is done with it. He made it 200 more. Now let's go over the chip colors here for some of the players that have not seen this game on Friday nights before. The reddish-brown chips there are $10 chips. Those are the main chips that we use here in the 10-20 game. The white chips there on the right in Sean's stack are $100 chips. The yellow chips are $5 chips, and the blue chips are $1 chips. If you see big grayish-green chips, they're $1,000 chips. And purple chips are $5,000 chips. A rack of chips is 100 chips, so a rack of red chips there is $1,000. $110 chips. We got a limp there by Joe Wynn with pocket sixes.
To 70.
And Barry Woods here is going to raise it up to 70 with King Jack suited. Jesus came in for a limp there in the cutoff with deuce 6. And looks like Kenny Wynn over there has got Queen 10 suited. He's going to make the call on the blind. Now we can see that one of Joe's sixes is dead over there, but he's going to make the call with that pocket pair, and Jesus is going to make the call.
4 players.
70 times 4. Got about a $280 pot going to the flop. Jack 7-7. Barry's hit the top pair. And let's see if Action Joe Wynn gets in a little bit of trouble here. Might he lead into this board over there in C3? Pocket sixes. It looks like he's checked it over to Barry Woods. And Barry's going to bet.
240.
He's going to bet about 240. Just about little under the size of the pot. Well, Kenny Wynn's going to fold. And let's see what Joe's going to do here. He's going to make the call, it looks like. He's going to make the call.
Heads up.
And we are heads up here. About a $750 pot. And Barry's in great shape right now.
One light, Joe.
Again, it's about $750.
On the stack of 200, there was 1 light.
The problem here for Joe is, say Barry had something like ace-king. Is he just going to check it? I mean, an cagey player like Barry might check right behind him, give off a free card. Well, the turn's a 9, and Joe checks again. And again, we got about a $750 pot here. And let's see what Barry Woods does. Looks like he's grabbing some white chips there. He's going to bet 360. He's betting about half the size of the pot. Maybe he's trying to put some money in there to see if Joe's going to make a move. Possibly he's worried about trip 7s. Somebody had stuck around trying to catch with an 8-10 there. They would have caught a straight. And Joe's taking a look here. He's got another overcard on the turn to deal with. But again, if Barry raised with 2 high cards, he didn't hit that jack. That 9 really didn't affect anything. This is a great example of the power of position and no-limit hold'em. Pot now is about $1,100. It's $360 for Joe to call. Now, we know that, again, that bet that Barry Woods made was kind of had 2 purposes there. If he's ahead with the jack, it's a great bet to induce Joe to call here. He's also trying to risk the minimum to see if Joe might have a stronger hand. And it looks like Joe is just going to call here again. And here we go, folks. We've got about a $1,400 to $1,500 pot. And let's see if Barry makes a value bet on the river here. And the river's a 5. Doesn't really affect anything. Again, it's about a $1,400 pot. Actions on Joe Wynn in seat 3. And Joe is checked. And Barry has asked, how much do you have left? And I think Joe only has 400, and that's a great bet by Barry Woods. He's going to bet the remaining amount of Joe's stack. And Joe's going to make the call, and Barry is going to quickly take down over a $2,000 pot. I love the value bet there on the river by Barry Woods with the King Jack. And Action Joe Wynn has gone bust, and that is definitely not the first time we've seen him go bust on this show. And let's see if he's going to rebuy. Nice play there by Barry. Again, we are looking for the best player of the night tonight, so get your votes in by emailing us at live@thebike.com or posting up on the 2+2 thread. I'll apologize if I'm going to be a little bit behind some of the real-time interactions tonight because I'm doing this myself, and I'm still a little bit under the weather. But it's okay, I'm a trooper. That was a nice little hand there, and the button's going to move over here to seat 7. And we're getting word that seat 9 is for Ed Shanazarian. He's going to be coming into the game.
3 players.
We got three-way action here, limped around. Jack Deuce 9. George's got a King Jack suited there. It looks like in the big blind. And George is pretty straightforward, pretty solid. He's going to bet.
80.
He's going to bet $80. And he is probably going to take it down here, I would imagine. And he does take it down. Now we get a question here by our good buddy Kevmath that starts the show. Or excuse me, starts the thread for the show. And I'm going to ask this over the air so my producer can also answer it because I'm not exactly sure about the answer. Bart, will this show run continuously over the weekend or just for 24 hours? Currently just for 24 hours, I hear. So it'll probably end sometime tomorrow? It will stop? Sometime tomorrow, okay. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, just like we do during the week.
That's been raised to 120.
Jesus is going to raise it up here. He's got deuce 7 offsuit in seat 5. He's going to make it 120 to go. Now, Action Joe Wynn, he's got King Jack offsuit. Now, how much did Action Joe Wynn buy in for here? 5,000 behind. Wow. And we're heads up. On the flop comes Jack 7-10. Both players have a piece of it, but Joe Wynn's got top pair.
Oh, I thought you were checking. No, he said check.
And Joe's checked. And Jesus here. He's going to bet.
100.
He's going to bet 100 into about a $250 pot. Let's see what Joe Wynn does here. He's going to check raise. Looks like 300 there.
Been raised. 200 more.
So it's 200 more, 300 total. And Jesus does have a piece of this flop. And Jesus is going to make the call. So the pot's about 850 now. Here we go to the turn. Turn's a 10. Joe Wynn's still in the lead. And has Joe checked here? I think Joe checked.
Donna. Yeah, because I had burned when you bet. Donna.
Now let's see here. I think the dealer might have burned. I'm not exactly sure what's happened here. We had the 10 of spades come out in the turn. It's getting about an $850 pot. Joe check raised Jesus on the flop.
I burned and then he said, wait.
And I think
No. This should be this burn card. This is
that
the card that should be
Greg
here, I think.
might have burned
This was
the
last
wrong
that
card
I was
somehow
gonna
by
burn when he
mistake.
said, wait.
But we'll see.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
I think on the previous card here. I don't know, because Joe check raised and Jesus made the call, so I'm not sure how the cards get out of order.
I'll be right there.
Okay, Tim, as I was taking the drop, Joe said check. Jesus didn't hear it. I was making
So-
the drop, and Jesus was going like this. So I burned this card.
Okay.
And he says, wait. So I burned it.
right.
They bet. The action was complete. I turned over the 10. They both checked. I went to burn again. When I realized I was burning, I already had 3 cards. That's when I stopped the action. This is the card that I was about to burn. This card should be the turn.
Right.
This card should be the last burn, and this card should not be in effect. This should be the river card.
I'm still trying to figure out what the action was on the turn.
Retrace this?
Yeah.
What was the last betting?
This was the last betting
I
round.
understand. Who bet?
Nobody. Check.
It was check.
Yep.
Okay, we can correct this one.
So this should come out.
Okay, so the turn went check.
It should be here.
This
Joe
should be the
checked the
turn card.
turn and Jesus checked behind
This
him.
should be the turn. There should be a betting round. This should be the third burn. This should be the river.
Yeah.
Just those two are reversed.
Yeah, that's right.
basically.
This one is gonna be here, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah, you hold on. You burn that one. No,
Yeah.
burn. Hold on.
That should be
Burn.
the burned river. This
Yeah,
should be the
this is
river.
gonna
This
be
deck
river
is going.
burn. So this is
This is going to be the river.
It's going to go like this.
Yeah, and then go on.
Yeah,
back.
That's going to be burned and then this card.
That's correct.
All right, so that's going to leave that
This
right
should
there.
be flipped over for
It's
the
gonna
turn.
be turned over.
There
This
should
is
be a
the
betting
turn.
round.
Correct? Everybody agree?
All right, so we're going to change the
There's gonna be a
turn
betting
card.
round.
So go ahead now.
Now the turn is changed to the king of clubs, and Joe has made kings up.
Okay. That should
And it
be
goes
burned.
check, check
This should be
here.
our river.
And Jesus is going to need to spike a 7 here, and it does not come. It's a queen, though. And it brings a 4-liner to a straight.
Pair sevens.
And it just gets checked down, and Joe's going to take it up with kings up there. Now, let me see if I can get confirmation from Donna on the floor. When they changed that turn card to a king of clubs, could they bet again on that turn? I mean, did Joe check the kings up on the turn there, and Jesus just checked behind him?
500 behind an 8.
I guess that's what happened there. Again, folks, that was a little bit confusing, but Joe killed his action there
Blind Joe.
because the queen came off on the river. And you wonder if Jesus had bet the river, if Joe even would have called there. Interesting set of circumstances there. But anyways, we're going to get to the next hand. Button's moved over here to seat 1. That's George Georgie in there with the button. And pot is limped around here in between the blinds. It's a $60 pot. Ace, queen, 6. No one's hit anything here. Looks like it's going to get checked around to the turn. It's a jack. Jesus has a pair now. Seat 5.
80.
And there's an $80 bet here by Jesus, and he's going to take it down. And the button now is going to move over here to seat number 2. Now, folks, I'm going to be telling you about this throughout the night. We have a Tuesday night special, Tuckman versus the viewers. Come play on a no-limit hold'em table and compete against David Fryer Tuckman on the Bicycle Casino's Play for Free site. Sign up early so you won't be denied. Go to www.thebike.com and download the free software. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as the show goes along. See if you can beat the Fryer.
5 players.
Pot is limped around here 5 ways. That's $100. 8, 5, 4, 2 clubs. And it looks like we got a pair of 4s over there in seat 2.
80.
And Mo's going to come out and bet it. He's got bottom pair. He's got a gut shot to the 7. But Joe, he's got top pair.
Raised to 280.
And Joe's going to check raise. He checked the 8-6 from up front. Mo bet, and I like the check raise there by Joe. And let's see what Mo does. He's going to make the call. It was a check raise to 280, and Mo makes the call. We've got a $600 pot going to the turn. Turns a deuce. Joe is still in the lead. Both players have the same straight draw, but Joe has the top pair. And let's see what Joe does here. He's going to bet 200. Pretty defensive bet there. And let's see what Mo does. It smells to me like a little bit of a blocker bet. Maybe Joe isn't quite comfortable with his hand. He does have top pair and a gut shot, and he is beating Mo. And Mo is going to make the call. And we've got a $1,000 pot here going to the river, and Joe's in pretty good shape. And the river's a 10, and if this pot goes to showdown, Joe's going to win. And it goes check, check, and Joe's going to take it down. There it is, folks. A little pot like that. It's the nature of this game. It's a big game. About $1,000.
This is the first draw.
We haven't really seen Kenny Wynn play that much. He's played it pretty tight. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. And check it out, folks. Check out the bike.com's free play for free software. You know, you want to score there. Kill Tuckman. He's got a big ego. He deserves to be beat. Pocket Jack's over here for seat 8. That's Kenny Wynn. And he's going to raise it up. He's going to make it 140, so 7 times the big blind. And Jesus is going to call with ace-7 offsuit. Looks like he's in the small blind.
Heads up.
Wow. He's actually in the big blind. So here we go, about a $300 pot. 10-6-3. Jesus missed the flop. Kenny's got an overpair. And he's going to bet 200 here, Kenny win, and he's going to take it down. Again, Jesus is a loose player. He plays lots of hands. And, you know, we're going to see that all night. Of course, we're doing our Ho-Ho Hold'em tournament here, Monday through Friday at 7:15, and the tournament on the weekends start at 4:15. This Saturday, December 3rd, we've got a $200 no-limit Hold'em tournament, unlimited rebuys. It's Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The $20 from each rebuy goes to Mad. And it's also Toys for Tots. If you bring a toy with a $10 value or higher, you can get into the tournament without the entry fee. So check that out. Now we have a raise here from the button to 70. Queen Jack suited. That's Sean. And we got 3 callers. So we got 4-way action. About a $300 pot. Ace, Queen, Deuce. What a flop for Queen Jack. He's picked up second pair and a flush draw. And let's see the action here. Check here by Jesus. Gary's got pocket 4s. I believe the action is on him. And it looks like he's going to bet here. What a gutsy bet here. He's going to bet 220. Getting into about a $300 pot. Joe Wynn's got a gut shot to the jack. He's going to fold. But I don't think Sean's going anywhere here. Sean's going to call. And Jesus is out of there.
Heads up.
Pot is about $720 going to the turn. The turn's of 3. Barry's picked up a wheel draw now. And let's see what he does. He's going to check. And Sean's going to bet 400. And Barry is in real bad shape here, where you need to catch a 4, the case 4 that's not a club, or a 5 that's not a club, and he's going to wisely get away from it. And Sean is going to take it down. Button's going to move over here to seat 5. I got to tell you, it is mass mayhem here in LA. Coming from Boston, where I grew up and on the East Coast, people just don't take sports as seriously as they do out here. But the USC-UCLA game has just got so much hype tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific time. The tickets are going for $2,000 or $3,000 a piece. It's unbelievable. Over there at the Coliseum. My goodness. Again, it's just not the same out here. I mean, people, they like sports, but they're not diehards. Which is probably why this city hasn't seen an NFL team in how long? At least 10 years.
And you're at the club, yeah, so I have the best.
Now we got, Mo is raised here to 90. He's got pocket 9s, and Joe Wynn is going to smooth call with kings. And Jesus is called with 8-10 suited, so Joe's playing the king slow. We've got about a $300 pot here going 3 ways. And look at this flop, 10-8-7, all diamonds. Joe's got the king of diamonds in his hand, but Mo's open-ended. Oh boy, and Mo's going to move all in. He's going to move all in here. Jesus has got top 2 pair, though. Look at this flop. Are you kidding me? But Joe's got the only diamond in his hand. And Mo's moved all in. It was a $300 pot pre-flop.
$730.
And it's a $730 bet here by Mo. And if Joe just calls, what's Jesus going to do behind him? He's got a lot of chips there. Probably over 2,500. Joe is called in between. And let's see what Jesus does.
All in.
And Jesus is going to move all in. He's moved all in with top 2 pair. And the action's going to come over back to action Joe Wynn. He's got an overpair with the second nut diamond draw. And let's see how much Jesus has here.
He's all in.
The pot is 1,800
Yeah, don't put that in.
plus
Yeah.
what Jesus' 730 is. So it'd be about 2,500 plus how much more from Jesus?
Does that count it?
It's a $2,500 pot plus how much more?
1550.
Plus 50. Let's see here.
1550.
I live in
Plus
like
1550.
About, 1 hour.
So it's a $4,000 pot, 1,500 for Joe Wynn to call. He's getting about, he's got him covered. He's getting
Play 21 tonight?
almost 3-1 on his money. He's got kings with the king of diamonds. And let's see what he's going to do. Let's see here. If he makes this call, it's going to be over.
Okay, there's our side pot.
And he's going to make the call. It's going to be over a $5,000 pot here, folks.
Okay.
And Jesus is in the lead here. Mo's open-ended, and Joe's got the diamond draw. Oh, the turn's a king. Joe's got a set of kings now, and the river is an ace. And action, Joe Wynn is going to take the whole thing with 3 kings. What a hand. Jesus was ahead on the flop there, but he definitely needed to dodge a lot of cards, and Jesus has gone broke. What a hand. Well, if you're new to Live at the Bike, we see this type of thing every single night, and we webcast these cash games every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 o'clock Pacific
He
time.
may have full house. How you can beat him?
Unbelievable hand. Joe Wynn takes over $5,000.
Like 7, you know. That's true. Yeah.
About $5,500 there.
How much, Mo? 2,000.
So I guess I got it.
And Mo is going to buy in here for $2,000.
Very nice hand. Very good toss up. Yeah. Very, yes. I think so. How many? 9 car plus 2 king.
Just unbelievable.
11 plus, yeah.
I mean, if people don't think this is a big game, this is a huge game.
100.
And Jesus, like normal, he's going to buy short here. He's going to buy 1,000. And I believe he has raised here pre-flop to 100 with King Jack off suit. And it looks like he has taken it down.
I think they said plus low. Yeah, which one? Sit 2 in the plus 1.
And
He didn't show them, but he got a pocket king with 1 diamond.
yeah, he's going to take it down there. Got a post here on 2+2 here by Jason Hold'em. He says, I've tuned in a couple times this week for the first time since they basically started broadcasting, and I think they've really improved the quality of their broadcasts overall. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Well, we did move rooms. We used to be in a utility closet. And we got, somewhat of a professional setup now.
100.
Somewhat.
Loose call, Jesus.
And, oh boy, we've got pocket kings over here for Sean in seat 4. And Jesus has got pocket aces. And Jesus has, and look at this, Sean limped with pocket kings, and Jesus raised with pocket aces. Sean limped, I believe, in late position with kings, and Jesus has raised with aces, and Sean calls, and we're heads up here. We've got about $1,200 pot, kings against aces. Oh boy, 7-3-3 here. All the money's going in.
You're lucky I don't have more money.
Sean, and Jesus says, you're lucky I don't have more money. Because Sean bets and Jesus calls. And Jesus only had about 1,200 here to start the hand. So unless Jesus gets incredibly lucky, he's going to double through here. Turns an 8. Boy, was Jesus unlucky not to have more money. River's a 4. Jesus is going to take it down there with the aces.
Boy, you're going to be right beside.
And boy, is Sean lucky. I think Jesus whispered in Barry Woods' head there, I have aces, I have aces. And boy, we would have seen a lot of money there. I mean, boy, imagine if those guys would both say $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 deep. I mean, that would have been an unbelievable hand. I mean, how do you get away from, if you've got kings there with that board against Jesus? I mean, we saw Mo lose a lot of money about a month ago when Jesus had aces and Mo had ace-king and the flop came king high. I mean, Jesus could be doing that with any 2 cards, so you really get paid off.
100.
And Barry Woods is going to raise it up here to 100. He's got pocket tens. And Jesus is going to call him. He's got queen 9 offsuit. It's about a $200 pot going heads up here. Deuce 8 deuce, pretty good flop for pocket tens. Barry's going to bet 200. And I would imagine that Jesus is going to fold. And Barry Woods takes it down. So I don't know if people there, I mean, we experimented with this last week. Somebody wants to start a poll on 2+2, probably right around 8:30, with who you think is the best player from tonight, combination of plays. That might work out good if Kev Math wants to start that, and if you want to vote by email, I can tally up the votes that way too, along with the poll. Again, these are for 2 ground tickets to either Saturday or Sunday next week to the Tiger Woods Target World Challenge of Golf
70
PGA event. If anyone's never gone to a PGA event, it's a great time. I got to tell you, walking around the grounds there at a nice golf course, it's absolutely amazing. Now we had a raise here, I believe, by Barry with Ace Jack off suit. Jesus and Sean both called. King Jack 10 here with a couple diamonds comes out, and Barry bets 200.
Well, I guess I want to switch to C7.
Right. You can go there, yeah.
And look at this, Jesus calls here. Well, he's got a gut shot to the 9. The turn's a 7. It's a diamond, and Barry has the higher diamond. And it goes check, check.
Ace.
And the river is an ace. What Jesus called.
A little more specific.
Jesus called it, and he's going to bet.
400.
And Barry doesn't have a queen, but look at this. Barry's going to make the call with aces up. What a call there by Barry Woods. And he's going to take down over $1,000 pot. And again, David and I talked about that on the turn.
He got straight.
You got it straight. That's what I said.
Wait a minute. How does he have a straight? Wait a minute. Did I miss something there? Did we have the cards up correctly?
That was his call, huh?
I could have sworn the board was King, 10, Ace, Jack, and Jesus didn't have a queen. He had 7, 8. Or excuse me, he had 9, 8, 9, right? Well, that was strange. We might have had the cards up there wrong, and maybe someone can correct me if they saw it. Maybe I just didn't see the straight there. But I could have sworn that Barry had aces up there. But anyways, regardless. Maybe Shirley could have been in there, like, say, the Russ McGinley on 2+2. What are you talking about, Bart? Jesus has a straight. It's going to get chopped here to Jesus and Barry in the blinds.
Hey, can you put that back? Thank you.
Seat 4 is going to move to seat 7.
And you're going to wait for the button pass, correct?
So Sean's going to move over there. And it looks like Jack is out of the game. Or he's been out of the game. And actually, Jack moved over to seat 9. So again, we got word that that Ed was going to come down to the game. So hopefully he will be here at some point.
3 players.
And we got 3-way action limped around here. Ace, 8, queen, with a couple of diamonds. Seat number 5 there. Jesus is going to bet on the 8, and he's going to take it down. Got an email here from Dave Jones. He said that he was having trouble viewing the replay of the webcast during the day. And again, I'm alone here, so I'll try to adjust this really quickly. We basically end the replays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you tune in after 4 p.m., because of the transfer that we have to do here in the with the show, we are going to get the promo reel. The promo reel is going to run between 4 and 6.
110.
And so if you do try to tune in at that time, you will get the promo reel. I hope that answers your question.
Jacks are good.
We got ace queen suited over here for Mo. He's going to raise and he's going to take it down.
Yeah, you can.
And the button is going to move over here to C8.
Thank you.
I think Greg is going to move out of the box here. We're going to get a new dealer. And again, the button here is over to seat 8.
Shootout is Monday.
Seems, again, we're on a 5-minute delay. So it seems like some comments and statements are coming in about that 10-8-7 hand. And King, obviously with the king of diamonds, was favored over both other hands there. Joe Wynn had about 47% chance to win that hand. 32% chance for Jesus, and about a 20% chance there for Mo. Big hand there for Joe Wynn. Buttons over here in seat 8. Limp, limp, limp. Again, these are 10 and 20 blinds. So we're going to see it 5 ways, $100 pot. Queen 9-7, couple hearts. It looks like Jesus has Queen 8 over there in seat 5. He's got top pair. And he's checked it. And everybody checked it. So Jesus is playing a little cagey now. Turns a 10. He picks up an open-ended straight draw with his queen.
Thank you.
100.
And now Jesus is going to bet 100.
Thank you.
Barry's out of there. Jack has a straight draw with the Jack over there in seat 9. But the action's on Kenny Wynn here. He's got King 8. He's got a gut shot to the Jack. He's going to fold. Jack is not going to chase with one card to come. And the Jesus is going to take it down. And there it is. So at the beginning of Tuesday's show, we'll tell the viewers what table Tuckman's on. And the first 9 to show up can play against him. You have to be up to 2 hours to knock him out, and you'll win a special bounty prize. But be warned, David's already mentioned that he plans on not going down. We'll check in on it every once in a while during that evening show to see how David's doing. So I guess it's like a one-table tournament style type. And the first 9 play. Well, I guess it's a free money game. Everyone's going to start with, I guess, the same amount of chips, obviously. And whoever knocks him out, and maybe there's also a prize for someone who gets first place. That's not determined, but I'm sure we'll put it up on the website. 8-5 deuce here. Turn is a 9. Jesus has top pair here. And Mo came out and bet with ace-10. Jesus raised him. He got top pair on the turn. And he is going to take it down. So again, we'll give you more details on Monday about how exactly that's going to run down. But just stay tuned.
Yeah.
You said he's coming?
Yeah, he's on the way.
Is the Brinks truck following you?
I don't know.
So I'm getting word that the hand with Jesus had 7-9.
That's okay.
And we had it up as 7-8. So that is what confusion was. And apparently he had made a straight. And he took it down.
120.
Seat 7's going to raise here to 120. He's got ace-king. And Barry Wood's going to call a 6-9 offsuit out of position. We are heads up. Well, Barry's hit a pair here. He's out-flopped Sean. Sean's going to bet 140, and Barry's going to call there with middle pair. And Barry's going to check blind to the turn, and Barry's hit trip 6s. And Sean's going to bet 230 now. Pot's about $650. And let's see what Barry does here. I really hope he's going to check raise here out of position. You hope that Sean has an overpair. Remember, Barry's out of position, but he's just going to call. Wow.
Oh, that's good. I mean,
And the river is an 8.
that's good. Why not?
And now Barry's going to come out and bet.
You know what?
He's going to bet 400 now. He's going to bet 400. He check called the turn, and he's bet 400 here on the river. The pot is about $1,000, 400 for Sean to call. And Sean can only beat a pure bluff here. And he's going to get away from it. And Barry takes it down.
Yeah, I'm just lucky when I hit my hand.
Thank you, Bear.
And there's Action Joe Wynn. He won that big pot, and he looks like he's got at least maybe $9,000 in front of him. He's got 3 stacks of white, which are $2,000 each, 2 racks of brown, which are $1,000 each, and then maybe another $1,000 in brown there. A lot of chips. Button's got to move over to seat number 2. And George Georgian over there, the Greek poker god, in seat 9, he's got pocket king. Actually, excuse me, that's seat 9. He's got pocket kings. That's Jack. And he's going to raise it up to 50.
3 players.
And he's going to get 2 calls. Jesus and Joe win. And the flop comes King 9-5. Jack's flop top set. $150 pot. And he's going to bet here about the pot. And he's not going to get any action. And I really don't mind that bet there by Jack with top set against a player like Jesus that's bound to call with any pair. I mean, you hope that he calls with any pair and spikes 2 pair of trips, and then you could get his whole stack there. Got a post here by Mike Q1483. Says, hey Bart, do you know if the Jesus that won the whole $200 tournament yesterday and the Jesus that's on Live at the Bike tonight are the same people? And no, they are not. Just by coincidence. Limp here. And we have got 5-way action. Limped around. It's a $100 pot. 969. Doesn't look like anybody's hit this. As is commonly the case when the board comes out paired, it gets checked around. The turn is a 7. And Jesus has made a gut shot straight. He's got the straight with 5-8 over there in seat 5. But so does Joe Wynn. Excuse me, Joe Wynn does not have a straight. Joe Wynn has an open-ended straight draw. Jesus is going to bet 100 here. But it doesn't look like he can get paid off.
Elizabeth.
But look at Joe Wynn. Is he going to represent here with the straight draw?
Raise.
He's going to raise it up.
800 more.
He's going to make it 400 straight, and let's see what Jesus does. Jesus has a straight. Joe's doing this with a straight draw. And Jesus is going to move all in here. And Joe got caught there with his hand in the cookie jar. I can't imagine that Joe can make this call. All he has is an open-ended straight draw with 1 card to come. I mean, you were talking about almost $2,000 a call here. There just isn't that type of money in the pot. Joe's going to have to let this one go. I mean, sometimes Joe really picks ill-advised times to bluff. I mean, it seems like sometimes people have great poker instincts, and sometimes they just, I guess in some cases, just pick the wrong times to bluff, and that's the case there. Unbelievable.
You want your small blind?
Barry, where are you?
Yeah, he does.
Barry, you want your blind or not?
Yes, it's small blind. Take it. Put it there. No. Put it there. Put it
Button
there.
is on seat 5.
Yes or no?
The Mo said yes.
Yeah, put it there.
So Jesus has the button.
Okay, you want my $10?
raise.
We get a raise here by Kenny Wynn. He's going to come in here under the gun. He's got pocket queens. Now, Mo's got Jack 10 suited over there in seat 2. Let's see if he makes the call, and he does. Nice little connecting hand. And Jesus is going to call with a weak ace, ace 6. And those are trouble hands. And we go to the flop, 3-way action, $250. Here we go. Flop comes out 8-7-3. Pretty good flop for queens. Now, Mo's got overcards, a backdoor flush draw, and a gut shot to the 9. Let's see how he plays it. It doesn't look like Kenny has that much money. Kenny's going to bet
170.
170. Well, Mo's not going to get involved.
Yin yang.
And Jesus is not going to get involved. And Kenny Wynn takes it down. Now, if you want to check out a couple of our banners on our website, you can go to Poker Pads. Click on Poker Pads and check out the poker mouse pads that they sell there. If you take a look right here, this makes a great Christmas gift. You can check it out. It comes with chips. You can practice your chip. You can practice your chip stacking and all. There it is, Poker Pads. And if you buy enough of them, you can get them customized. And we will be selling these live at the Bike and Bicycle Casino ones in the near future. But if you want to get ones for maybe your internet poker playing friends, you know, you can get that. It makes a great little Christmas gift. And it comes like this with a set of chips here, just like this. So check it out, Poker Pads. Now, Jesus has got pocket queens, and he's raised it up, and Joe Wynn has made the call with Queen 10 offsuit out of position.
2 players.
Here we go. Now, Joe Wynn's hit second pair here. We've seen him check raise with these hands before. King 10-4. And it went check, check, and look at this. The turn's a 10. Jesus did not bet there on the flop. Jesus did not bet on the flop. And now Joe's going to come out and bet.
Raise.
And actually, he's going to... has he made the check raise here? The river is a 6. And I'm sorry about this, folks. It's a little lost in the action here. And Jesus is going to come out and bet. He's going to bet... Joe's going to come out and bet. He's going to bet 600, and Jesus calls. And we're talking about over a $2,000 pot here. It looked like Joe check raised Jesus on the turn. And Joe spiked a 10 there on the turn, and he's going to take it down. Takes down a nice little pot. And Peter here is going to come into the game here in seat 4. He's got $1,000 there, and he is an action player. And actually, he's going to come in for $3,900. Peter plays really, really loose aggressive, and this is going to be fun to watch. I know Peter. He's one of those Magic players. He's friends with David Williams and some of those guys that have come over from Magic and now play poker for a living. And he is really, really laggy. He's a big limit player. Just started playing no-limit cash games, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see him play.
2 players.
Now, we had a raise here by Jesus with pocket 4s, and Barry called the 7-8 suited. Queen 10-10 here on the flop.
All I know is I got called, and I got chips, and I got king.
Jesus is going to bet here with pocket 4s. He's going to bet 100.
I don't know, make a decision.
Okay, send him here, send him here. This is the 8 seat. 8 pounds on it.
This game. And let's see what Barry does here. And Barry's going to raise him. He's going to raise here with 7-8. He's got absolutely nothing. He's going to make it 300 more, but Jesus has the best hand here with pocket 4s. And Jesus is going to make the call. And here we go to the turn. The turn is an ace. And boy, and Jesus looks like he's checked. And Barry checks right behind him. And the river's a deuce. Now let's see if Barry's going to fire here. He's going to bet 400 here. And what can Jesus beat here? He can only beat a pure bluff, but he's going to make the call. He's going to make the call with pocket 4s. And he's going to take down about a $1,500 pot there. What a call by the Jesus.
Good call.
And Barry looks a little bit disheveled over there in seat 6. And Barry says he only had about 400 overcards there.
Queen 10, Queen 10. See, you lose out your 10.
Unbelievable hand there.
Not all. Whatever. You lose what he covered.
That would have been full house.
Button's going to move over there to seat 8.
He's going to go.
Okay, I'm going to take the seat.
It's going to be interesting to see who's going to win the best player tonight.
No, he cannot leave.
Haven't seen like a lot of plays yet, but we still have over 2 hours left in the show.
You have to wait until you see the best player of the night.
Yeah.
You might take it.
Right now it's me, man. I'm like every single hand.
40.
Got a raise here by,
Are you getting up?
looks like Sean over there in seat 7 to 40 with 8-5 suited in the cutoff. Little mini raise.
20 more.
And it's only 20 more, so he's just a little pot builder.
3 players.
And we're going to see 3-way action here. $120 pot, queen, 3, king. And Sean's got a flush draw. And I assume he's going to bet.
140.
He's going to bet 140, a little over the size of the pot.
One more play.
Jesus has a gut shot to the jack. Is he going to chase it with red 9-10? He makes the call. And Barry's out of there.
Give me a jack.
420, and Jesus is calling for a jack, and a jack comes off on the turn. Wow. He's got a straight, but Sean checks right behind him, and the river's a deuce. And Jesus moves all in here. And even though that's a fun hand to watch, it's kind of a perfect example why you probably wouldn't want to chase a gut shot there. He hit his 4-outer. He actually had a 3-outer. He actually had more outs because the guy only had 8-5. But if the guy had a stronger hand there, it would have been a 3-outer, and he did not get paid off. But what a turn card.
Lines here, please. He called it right. Are you just going to wait, sir?
And it looks like we got a new player in seat 4. It's Don. Peter has moved over here to seat 3. The button is moved over here to seat 9.
You raised it 500. I limped in, right? Because I was going to re-raise.
Seat 6. Is he there when oh, yeah, okay. The light black guy.
Yeah, so...
Limp here?
he makes it 50. 6 people win, so I'll make it 500. He comes over a couple of thousand. I see a flop.
Ace 8 king here. Mo's got second pair.
Just running like ass. What are the chances of it?
120.
Seat 2's going to bet 120 here. It's Mo. And he is going to take it down.
It's Mr. Kim.
Button's going to move over here to George, seat 9.
Did Joe win a bunch?
And again, it's going to be fun to see Peter flag. He's been playing No Limit the last couple days here, constantly. I think Peter's good friends with the guy that won the $1,500 limit event at the World Series this year, that first event. Or the event after the first No Limit there, I think it was on a Sunday. It was televised. We'll get a $100 raise here by Jesus. He's got pocket 6s, seat 5.
Make it 2.
And look at this. Barry Woods calls with King 10 off suit. And seat 7 there, Jack. Excuse me, not Jack. Seat 7 is Sean. He's going to raise it up to 200 with Ace 10 off suit. We've got 3-way action here. $600 pot. Deuce 10-9, and is Barry Woods going to get in trouble? Check, check.
5.
And look at this. Sean's going to bet 500. He doesn't look like he's got that much. And Jesus makes the call with pocket 6s. And let's see what Barry's going to do. He's got King 10. The pot is $1,600. And do you get worried because Jesus called in between? I mean, a lot of times you might not overcall, but Jesus is the caller in the middle. He's made the call with pocket 6s. But Barry is dominated here. He's in big trouble. luckily for him, Sean doesn't have that much.
How have you been around like that? You've been around like that for 3 weeks?
$500 bet.
Ever since that night when it was you, me, and Olden.
And he's going to re-raise. He's going to check raise to 1,000, and there it is. Sean's going to put the rest in here.
Yeah.
No, I know you came back, but that was the night.
It looked like he made it 9.
He's all in.
Yeah, it looked like he made it 1,000, so he made it 500 more. Jesus Muck's pocket 6s.
He's all in.
But Barry's Woods is in trouble here. So an 8 here comes on the turn, and the river's a 4, and Sean's going to take down over a $2,000 pot there with ace 10.
Oh!
There it is.
5, 6, 7, 8. 820, so
180 back.
80.
Nice hand there for
There
Sean.
you go, 80.
Jack 5.
I don't know if we've ever seen Sean on the show before.
Thank you.
I think he is a new player.
I haven't played hand for like.
Button's going to move over here, seat 2.
7 hours, dude. Couch runner.
Been an hour. I played one. That was a big one.
You had a policeman on you. No. I'm a drug dealer.
So Barry Woods took a little bit of a rough beat there, but often you see hands that are dominated go down there in flames. I mean, if you hit your pair and the other guy hits, you're going to lose a big pot. And it could have been their King 10 against Ace King as well.
Medium and a Caesar salad, please.
And C4 over there, his name is Don. Somebody emailed us here. It looks like Jason Whittemore. He said that he might have been on the World Series of Poker, and he was on ESPN. Maybe I'll get his full name here in a second, seat 4. We get a raise here by seat 3. Pocket 10s.
70 total.
We raised it out of the small blind.
270.
And Jesus has pulled the limp re-raise with deuce 10. Deuce 10. The action's over to seat 7. I know we have it up as Barry in seat 6, but it's seat 7 with ace 8. Jesus has pulled the limp re-raise with deuce 10. And look at this. Sean's going to call with ace 8. And what is Peter going to do with pocket 10s now? Does Peter know about Jesus? Peter calls. And Jesus is in big trouble. $600 pot going to the flop. Jack 3-8. Peter's got the best hand here. And Sean's hit second pair. And Jesus bets 400. And let's see what Sean does. He's got ace 8 with a backdoor spade draw with his ace of spades. The pot is $1,000 at 400 to call. And it really puts Sean in a tough spot here. Peter's checked from up front. Jesus is bet. Jesus pulled the limp re-raise. And Sean calls. And now what does Peter do? He's going to get away from it. He's going to muck the best hand, it looks like. And I don't really blame him. I mean, what do these guys have? The turns is 6. Peter's not going to be happy. I know Peter's not going to be happy after this hand if this hand gets shown down. Jesus checks, but it might not get shown down. Pot's 1,400 right now. And Sean's going to bet 1,000. This pot is not going to get shown down. And I think he turned over 10 deuce. Jesus turned over 10 deuce. I don't know if we can get a shot of Peter over there in seed 3, but I got to look. He mucked the best hand, but can you really blame him? And that is Don McKeon over there in seat 4. So Don McKeon in seat 4. And we're going to get a chip count here soon. Coming up.
And when I am, I still lose.
Buttons moved over to Peter in seat 3.
80.
Sean has come in for a raise here, I believe, in seat 7 with 8 deuce suited. Wow. George is going to make the call. This table's really loosening up now. George has got pocket 10s over there in seat 1. And Jesus has 6-3 offsuit. He's made the call. $250 pot. Look at these hands. Jesus has got a pair. George has the best hand. Let's see. Oh, Sean does not bet here with the ace. If Sean had bet, I got to think maybe George would have folded, but George is now going to bet here with pocket 10s.
260.
George is going to bet 260 here, and he's going to take it down. I mean, I got to tell you, when you race with rags there, like that gentleman in seat 7 did with deuce 8, why wouldn't you follow through when the ultimate scare card comes up on the board? I mean, sometimes we say it time and time again. I'm not going to necessarily raise with 8 deuce suited in early position, but if you decide to, I can't believe you wouldn't fire at that pot 3 ways when an ace comes up on board. You would have taken it down. Again, if you want to follow a live thread, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums.
50.
Texas Hold'em. Mid and high stakes, pot, and no limit Hold'em. You can also email us at live@thebike.com. We have a raise here. I believe we have a raise here to $50 by Mo with ace jack, and we got 4 callers, so 5-way action. $250 pot. Now, Peter's got pocket 7s. It looks like he's got the best hand here. And it gets checked to Peter, and Peter's going to bet.
350.
He bets 350, a little over the size of the pot. And actually, Jesus has the best hand here with 8-10, excuse me. He's got second pair. Peter has the second best hand, but Jesus is going to get away from it with all those people there behind him. Peter's going to take it down there with pocket 7s. There it is. Peter wearing the white Nike shirt, headband.
Yeah, they bring him. He goes 3,000 and they bring him 3 rings.
Button's going to move over here to Jesus in seat 5.
That's nice.
Sometimes they have to fight on the table. You ask them to see that, they bring them 4 stacks of food.
Yeah, that's happening.
Action's on George Georgian now in seat 1. He's going to limp in. He's got king, queen offsuit.
100.
Jesus is going to raise it up here with queen 3. Queen 3 offsuit.
Got that. Got that.
And George is going to call. Chances are that neither player is going to hit this board. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It's a queen, and I have a feeling that Jesus might go broke here.
200.
Jesus is going to bet 200 here. And George quickly calls. $600 pot. The turn's a 4. It looks like George is going to come out and bet.
All in.
And Jesus is all in. And Jesus is going to need to spike lucky here. He's going to need to get a 3. George is ahead here with king, queen. Here we go to the river. And the river is a 4, and the king is going to play. And George is going to take down about a $1,500 pot with king, queen. And let's see how much Jesus is going to rebuy for it. Again, folks, any player can come down and play in this game. I say if you're in within a 200-mile radius of this game, get down here. People are giving money away.
$70.
We get a raise here, it looks like, by Peter. He's got ace-7 offsuit. He's going to make it 70 to go.
Here in this table, you can order the food from grill. They have a good They say, oh, how come they don't pay anymore? You told me they have
And
good value.
look at this. Jesus is called with Jack Rag suited. He's called with Jack Rag suited, and Jack is in there with King 10.
Is Mo aware of the change in the food?
We've got about a $210 pot here.
All right, you better tell me.
3 players.
Ace 5-9, and Peter is in there with Ace 7. I think we took his cards down by mistake. Seat 3. We got his cards, and he's got $200 bet here.
2.
And Jack has got a flush draw. Jesus has got nothing. He's probably going to fold. Let's see what Jack is going to do here. He's going to call. Pot is now over $600. The turn's a 9.
I'm all in.
All in.
And Peter's going to move all in. He's going to put Jack to the test, and Jack only has one card to come here with the flush draw. And in essence, Jack looks like he has about maybe 1,000 left. So Peter would basically be betting 1,000 more here. It would be about a $1,600 pot, 1,000 a call. I don't think Jack can make this call with one card to come. Unless for some reason he would think that his king or 10 would be good, but still, even then, I think he's going to get rid of it. And Jack is going to fold.
Flush draw? I didn't see it.
Thank you.
Button's going to move over here to seat 8.
No, I think I'm Red Bull.
3 chips.
Yeah. No, I think I'm Red Bull. You need one more? Okay. One more. You need one more.
Small blind, big blind, seat 1, or seat 9 and seat 1.
Okay, you've offered to buy me a drink for years, and I've never accepted, so this doesn't mean anything.
Red Bull there, Red Bull here, 1 second. Yeah, one Red Bull.
Jesus is going to limp in here with Jack 7 suited. Barry limps in.
70 total.
Little potential here.
And seat 7 is going to raise it up to 70 here with Queen Jack of clubs. And Jack is going to call with Ace 10 of clubs. So if clubs comes out, Jack has Sean dominated. It's a $70 raise here by Sean in seat 7. George is going to come in with a little gap-suited connector up front in seat 1 and blind. We've got 5-way action. $350 pot going to the flop. Jack 8-3. Sean has hit top pair, but so is Jesus. And Jesus might go broke here again. George has got a flush draw. I have a feeling that Jesus might check raise all in here. Now Sean is going to bet 300. Pot is now 650. It's 300 to call. George has a flush draw.
And we're big, too.
And Jesus just calls. George folds. I thought Jesus was going to play a little bit more strongly. $900 pot. Turn is a 9. Jesus picks up a straight draw now. But if a 10 came, Sean would have a higher straight draw. And Sean's going to bet 800 now. And Jesus is going to call all in. And he's going to need to spike a 7 here. A 10 would be no good. Jesus is all in for 530. He needs a 7 here, and the river is a 6. And Sean is going to take it down there with Queen Jack. There it is.
Yes. Thank you.
And there it is there for Sean. Takes it down. He's done pretty well for himself tonight. Again, the button's going to move over here to seat 9.
No, it doesn't matter. You look at it if you want to call.
Pocket queens over there for Don McCain, seat 4. He's going to raise it up. First time that we've seen him play in the game. He's going to make it 80 to go. And look at this. Sean's going to re-raise to 280 with pocket sixes. Wow. Pretty aggressive. And let's see what Don does. Don looks, he's going to make the call. And we've got a $560 pot going to the flop. Queens against pocket sixes. Not a bad flop for pocket sixes. 3, 4, 10. Mo is not in the hand. And Don's going to bet. He's going to bet 460 here. The pot now is about $1,000. 460 to call, and Sean gets away from it. And Don takes it down there. Playing with fire there, re-raising with pocket sixes. Wow.
Was my order already placed?
Button's going to move over here to seat number 1. Barry Woods, mid to early position here. He's going to make a raise. He's got king 10 of diamonds. He's going to raise it up to $70. Seat 7's going to make the call. He's got ace deuce suited. And he's got position on Barry, and we're heads up. Barry Woods against Sean here. Flop comes out king, queen 8. Barry's hit top pair. And he's going to bet.
140.
He's going to make it 140.
Success with my split. That's it.
And Sean is not going to get involved. And Barry Woods is going to take it down. Well, if you're thinking of a stocking stuffer gift for your loved ones at Christmas, how about a subscription to the archives? It's a great present for a newbie poker player to improve his game. Great entertainment value. Fun. Funny, hilarious at times. Check it out. Click on the archives banner in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Gets you access to all of our past shows that we have ever done here. Over 1,500 hours of live poker.
Thomas Keller.
Limp, limp, limp.
200.
And Mo's going to raise it up here to 200. He's got ace queen offsuit.
The bracelet, that first, the 2,000 limit. The real super fat guy this year at World Series, Eric Troller.
And Barry's got pocket sevens here. He's trying to figure out if he wants to get involved against Mo. Again, we've got a situation here with pocket pairs. I mean, if Barry makes this call, he could make 10-1 on his money, but do you think that Mo would really call off his whole stack if he hit a queen or an ace here, if Barry hit a set?
You want me to play for you?
Trying to figure it out. He's having a real difficulty with this one, it looks like. Trying to do a little math out in his head. He's got pocket sevens. And I think that Mo might be deep enough for him to make this call. I mean, Mo has got about 2,100, so it's real close here. He raised it to 200. And Barry's going to make the call. And he does have the best hand here. And this might induce Sean to make the call here now with pocket deuces. No, he's out of there. And we are heads up, pocket sevens against Mo. Ace queen in position. Here we go. Not a bad flop for 7. 7 is an overpair. Neither player has a heart. 6, 5 deuce, all hearts. And let's see if Barry throws a tester bet out here. He's going to bet 500. And look at this. Mo comes over the top with ace queen with a black ace queen. What a gutsy play by Mo. And can Barry get away from the overpair? He doesn't have a heart in his hand, and he's going to fold. And Mo bluffed Barry Woods right there. He bluffed him. And Barry, he had the best hand, but Mo made a very strong move there. And Barry does not look pleased. He did have the best hand, but Mo got him all of it.
Mine were 2 red, so I had ace-6 red.
Well, Button's going to move over here to seat 3.
I had ace-6 red. Deuces. So, do they have archives for this? You must have had the ace. I had to have, right?
200 or 220 there.
Can we just ask them what that was?
I understand that.
Button's moved over here. King Jack suited over here for George in seat 1. limp, and George is going to make it 100 to go with King Jack of Hearts. Barry Woods has got 8-10 off suit in the big blind. He's thinking about calling. And he makes the call. And Sean's going to come in with King 9 of spades. And Jack's got pocket sixes. So a $400 pot going to the flop 4 ways. Look at this. The Greek poker bod flops the nut flush. Ace, queen, 8, all hearts. And George checked it. The turn's a deuce. And let's see if anyone's going to fire. It's got checked twice. And George is now going to put some money in here. He's going to bet 200. But no one has an ace. No one has a queen. No one really has any type of high heart. Unfortunately for George, he's not going to get any action. The nut flush. He does not look pleased.
Thank you, everyone.
You're not leaving now, are you?
Unbelievable. And do I hear Ed there in the background?
Sheila?
And Ed's coming in to seat 5. The myth, the legend. Ed Zana Zarian there in seat 5. Coming in, and let's see how much he's playing behind.
Thanks, sir.
And he's definitely, he looks like he's taking Jesus' spot.
I think the one gentleman was
Again, Ed's taking a couple of weeks off from the Wednesday game.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
We've got an email here from ECV13. He says, "Hi Bart, are these guys tipping the dealer with $100 chips? No, the blue chips are $1 chips. The white chips are $100 chips. The brownish red chips are $10 chips. And the yellow chips are $5 chips." Ed Shanazarian is playing $5,000 behind.
No, I'm just saying a couple more times. You're going to get a better guy.
And again, I want to say that probably we're going to look at a chip count. Now Barry's got 15,000. Now this is, I'm going to do this off the top of my head. Maybe some of my helpers can help me out. It's going to be a little bit difficult with the beginning chip counts. But I think that Sean in seat 7 is up the most here with 4,500. I think he started with about 1,500 or 2,000. So George, Ed's coming in with 5,000. George has got 5,500 in seat 1. And we can see the rest there. Now we had a raise here by seat number 2. That's Mo. He made it 80 to go. He's got a suited connector. He's in that hijack spot that we talk about, 6-7 suited. And we have got 4 callers, 5-way action.
How much do I owe to the pot?
Jack 7 deuce here on the flop with a couple of hearts.
80. 4 chip.
And the pre-flop raise was 70, I believe.
8 chip.
So it's $350 pot.
Check.
Again, the board reads Jack 7 deuce with 2 hearts. Kenny in seat 8 has top pair. And nobody bets. Ed's got a flush draw. The turn's a 7, and George is top flip. He's turned trip 7s, but Mo's got trip 7s as well.
Oh, you remember that?
And Kenny checked the Jack again in seat 8.
It did?
And now George is going to bet here. And this is going to be interesting. He's going to bet the pot, and let's see what Mo does. Mo calls. The pot now is about 1050. And let's see if Ed calls with a flush draw. I'm really surprised that Mo didn't raise there. And Ed's going to make the call here as well. And the pot's going to balloon up to 1,400. And this is going to be some incredible stuff here if a heart comes. And it can't be the 6 of hearts because George has it in his hand. Here we go to the river. The river's a 10.
Check. Yes, sir.
And it goes check, check, and George is checked, and Mo's going to bet.
Bet 1,000.
And Mo's going to bet 1,000. And now George has got to think, what is George going to do here? The pot is $2,400. It's 1,000 to call. He shows Mo the 7. I think he was expecting that one to get checked down here. And he might be scared that Mo has him out kicked. I mean, how would Mo bet there? Or Mo might have something like pocket jacks. $1,000 bet here by Mo at the end. And look at this. George is going to muck the chop hand, and Mo's going to take it down. He's going to take it down with trip 7s with a 6 kicker. And George had the same hand. And of course, George watches the archives. He studies the play. And he's going to be kicking himself over that one, folks. He looked really, really surprised when Mo bet the river. And I think that he might have put Mo in pocket jacks. I really do.
No, he said it to me. Can I give it back to you? Like,
So Mo's going to take down that pot.
There's Timmy. There's Timmy. You know? Because then it doesn't matter.
Limp here. Looks like Peter's limping in with ace queen over there in seat 3. Now Barry Woods looks to have pocket 9s on the button, and he's going to raise it up to 100.
You don't have a set. Thank you. I need a hand. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you're out, I have a chance now. 7 you haven't got. No, Ed's still in, so no telling what's going to happen.
And then you check the flop. You bet the flop. I don't know. Maybe I'll go check up later.
And George and Mo are talking about that hand. George mucked the chop hand. George calls here with a gap-suited connector.
80 total? No, 100.
Peter, I believe, has... Peter needs to show us his cards so we can see the suits in seat 3.
Oh.
He's got ace of clubs, queen of diamonds. He calls. And Ed calls with queen 9. And we've got a $400 pot here. King 8-3.
And I said, Eddie's coming 1 hour before that.
And it looks like Barry has the best hand here with pocket 9s.
You will not be able to
Time, please. Check.
Peter's checked the ace-queen. Action's over to Ed. He checks, and Barry Woods is going to bet here.
400.
He's going to bet the pot. Only one overcard. No one has a king. And it looks like he's probably going to take this one down, I'd imagine. I don't know if Peter's going to get involved now. He's not going to get involved with ace-queen. Peter's a very, very, again, he's a loose, aggressive player, but he's not stupid. He's got great awareness, and I think he's got good poker instincts over there in C3.
I'll just mumble it.
The button's going to move over here to seat 7.
Mumble it myself. I play with myself.
Again, tonight is VIP night. Very important player. The best player of the night,
When am I going to meet Barry?
voted by you, the viewers, will receive 2 tickets to the Tiger Woods Target World Challenge of Golf Tournament. It's happening next weekend up in Thousand Oaks, California. Courtesy of 710 Extras AM Sports. Sports talk radio here in LA. I listen to it every day. Yeah, Barry Woods is coming for a raise here with ace queen of hearts from the cutoff. George Georgian's got pocket 9s. He limped in early. He's going to make the limp call. Sean's got one of those dominated hands, and I believe he is on the button, though, over there in seat 7. Ed has got 6-9 offsuit. He plays any 2. And here we go. Circular pot, $360, 4 ways. King, deuce, 8. George has got the best hand here. And let's see if Barry fires. Nope. It's going to get checked to Sean. And actually, Sean has the best hand with king, queen. And Sean checks the king, queen, heads up. Wow. I guess he's trying to play it a little tricky. We get a $200 bet here by George. Barry calls. And let's see if Sean raises. And he is going to raise. He's going to make it 800 more, and George folds here. And Barry folds. I mean, it's a little bit dangerous to do that if you're Sean. I mean, I guess he took the chance that maybe somebody doesn't hit a miracle card there on the turn. He was vulnerable to an ace, and if George had caught a 9, how would that have gone down there? George hit a set there on the turn.
Even some of them,
I had him
it's
take
bad
a
for
walk.
me and I'm losing some time. Just because I have to change. George, you changed your game, that's it.
Me, I did.
I changed my game.
So you change your game too.
I have to, man.
Most game, your game is the same.
all over.
No,
Holden fucking.
Button's going to move over there. Seat 8. There we get a look at our play for free site.
Under was not good.
For you guys,
And I promise you that the audio will not continue on here. So check it out. Go to thebike.com, sign up, download the software, and play Tuckman on Tuesday night for a bounty. Just get into the table. The first 9 people will get to play against him. There it is. Bicycle Casino.
Yeah, why not? Let's start. You picking anything?
I can't,
Okay, I take 8.
And the button's going to move over here to seat 8. Again, check it out, thebike.com.
Chop, chop.
Chop, chop. No, so
Small
fast,
blind
man.
in seat 9, big blind in seat 1. Hopefully I'll be finally coming to the end of my illness and I'll be back to 100% here on Monday. It's been a rough 2 weeks for me, I gotta tell you.
There he's
I have never missed a day of work in my life because of sickness until Monday. And I swear to God, at any job. But I just had to take some time off because of my voice. 3-way action here, limped around. Ace deuce 5 with a couple of spades. What a flop here for Barry Woods. He's got top pair and a nut flush draw.
50 in the pot. Make it 50.
And he's going to bet the pot here. He'll bet 50.
Okay, I'll make it 40. 30.
And he is going to take it down.
20 and
They didn't have their business yet.
And George had a rough night last night. He got sucked out a couple times. He was down about 3,000. He usually doesn't have those types of swings. He's a pretty tight player.
Call me when I have something. Call me when I don't have shit. Can you see my cards?
When I left the East Coast, there was no black. The Borgata didn't have their business yet. So.
The button's moved over here. Again to seat 9.
46 pairs. 46 pairs
I'm getting bored.
Ed's going to limp in here with Queen 7 offsuit. Sean is going to limp in with Ace 7 offsuit. He's our big winner tonight. Can he win? We haven't heard much from him lately. He's going to limp in with Jack Rag suited in the cutoff. Look at these hands. 6-way action, $120 pot. 8-5-5. Kenny's got a flush draw over there in seat 8. George has top pair. No one has a 5. See if Kenny makes a bet. No, he doesn't bet in position. He takes the card. The turn's a 6. A couple people are now open-ended. Sean and Mo and Ed. And now Kenny Wynn's going to bet. He's got a pair and a flush draw. He's going to bet 80. Little over. That's actually a little under the size of the pot. George Georgian calls. And you know Ed's going to call with the open-ended straight draw. Pot's now about 350, 3 ways. George has the best hand here, but he's going to need to dodge some cards. The turn's a 10, and George's hand is good here with a pair of 8s. And George is going to take it down there with 8s up, 8s and 5s with a 10 kicker. Of course, in Texas Hold'em, we play all 5 cards in any combination.
I have 8, he has 7. It goes to 8. It's same color, 200.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 9.
No, the night I lost almost $8,000. One night?
All from this game?
No, just
Okay, you just lose 8,000.
But
Now there's Barry Woods.
the guy
Look at that top of that guy's head, man. Don't we always wish for that at that age we're going to have that type of hair? Doesn't look like it's thinning at all there.
Then small check, I check, big check. That part, small check, I check.
Peter's in the big blind over here in seat 3. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums.
And I lost 500.
Texas Hold'em,
How do you like it? That night, I was
pot
down
and no limit.
$7,000.
Section there, mid and high stake. Mid and high stakes pot no limit Hold'em section.
You got
Check it out.
Everybody told me, okay, you got the jackpot. I said, no. I don't want that. I want the size of it.
limp here. And it looks like we're going to see this pot limped around.
You call him sir?
Everybody calls
I
him
would
Sir.
never take a massage from you if you call him sir. Call him Barry.
Four-way action.
Ed calls me a bitch.
$80 pot. Jack 3-4.
Rightfully so.
Peter there in seat 3. He's got King Jack.
Bet 100.
And he's going to bet 100. The one thing I've noticed about Peter, when I played with him a couple of times in No Limit, well, look at Mo. Mo's going to check raise, and Peter moves all in. Peter just moves all in here. Wow. Unbelievable. Guess Peter's not afraid there to commit all his chips there in one pair. I mean, what if Mo had 3-4 there? Unbelievable. Peter's moved all in for like 4,000 here with King Jack. I mean, the pot's lipped. He does have the best hand. I'll give it to him. But that is definitely making a bet that you might only get called by a better hand. I mean, Mo is just showboating here. I can't imagine he's going to call. It got limped around. Peter bet 100. Mo check raised him, and Peter just moved all in there with King Jack. Unbelievable. And the button moves over to Mo.
I wake up to a big stupid hand in the big one. Overpair? Would have raised an overpair. Would have knocked out whatever.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that kind of thing.
But that hand I just played?
Where's your twin?
He's not. He's
Button's going to move over there to seat 2.
Can I be the triplet? I don't think
Pocket Jack's there for Ed under the gun.
Wrong.
And Mo's got ace-queen on the button. I think Mo's going to raise it up. Let's see if Ed Shanazarian can pull the limp re-raise. Mo raises it up to 220. Let's see what Ed does with Pocket Jacks.
200 more.
Ed limped under the gun with Jacks. Let's see what he does. He's just going to call. And we are heads up here. Ed against Mo. Jacks against ace-queen. And Ed could have any 2 cards here. Limp call. Oh, wow. King, queen, 5. Mo's hit second pair there with the ace kicker. He's got the nut diamond draw. And the pot is about $500. It got checked to Mo. And Mo checks right behind him. Turns at 3. And now Ed's not going to fall for it. He's not going to bet. And Mo checks again. And the river's a 9. And Mo has never bet here. He just checks it all the way through. And Mo's going to take it down there with the ace-queen. Wow.
Can't catch a hand if my life depends on it.
I could have sworn that Ed was going to pull the limp re-raise there with Jacks. But again, I mean, if people are unfamiliar with the show, I'm very familiar with these players. We've watched him for nearly a year. Ed could have limped called there with absolutely any 2 cards. I don't necessarily think that I would have put him on queen, pocket queens or higher. I think he could have limped in and re-raised with those hands. But ace-king all the way down to something like 6-3 offsuit, limp call for 200. He could have had any 2 cards.
So what do they put on?
And that's why sometimes Ed can be dangerous there. Sometimes you can't logically backtrack through the hand and put him, you know, on a range of hands.
Okay.
It's just the range is too big sometimes.
Monday is strength game, team game.
I heard about that. I wanted to play last Monday.
This Monday we're gonna play.
Well,
1,000 each, $10,000.
you get to pick your team. What is it? I don't understand.
And I think Mo's talking about Monday night here, where we may be doing a heads-up match. Again, that's not set in stone. We might do limit hold'em. We'll figure it out.
I get it.
4 players.
4-way action here, limped around.
4, 10 total.
Yeah, 5 cards.
6, 7, 10 with a couple of clubs.
Well, yeah, I want to play.
And it looks like Don in seat 4. We've only seen him play one hand tonight. He's going to come out and lead here with 7, 8. He's got a pair of 7s with a gut shot. It looks like he has the best hand right now. Peter's got ace 9 for a gut shot to the 8. He's got a backdoor nut flush possibility with the ace of clubs.
I've got a gut shot, too.
Yeah, and he's going to get rid of it. It's pretty obvious if that 8 were to come. I don't think he really could have got paid off heavily. Boy, look at the tattoos on that guy's arms, man. Wow. Heavy duty.
But if you want to be 100%,
Button moves over there to seat 4.
Yeah.
That's Don.
$1,000 already.
Look at the bling bling on Peter's pinky finger there. Guy's packing some serious. Look at the watch. Bling bling bling. Look at that PTR.
Okay, we need 2 more, or 3 more, or whatever.
Yeah. He's in my game.
Okay, he's on my team.
Button's gonna move over again there to seat 4. Barry Woods has the big blind.
7 o'clock.
You guys gonna lose.
We're gonna lose?
You guys gonna lose. We bet 500 on top of that.
We haven't even got a game. You took trash.
Limp here.
No,
Ed is in the
I'll
game.
bet 500 above.
Ed is in the game.
I don't understand 500.
And my corporation is in the game, our game.
Right.
You guys bring
5-way action, limped around.
1,000 on top of that. If you lose, we give you 1,000 more.
King 9-8 with a couple of hearts.
Oh, I thought 2-8.
No, you didn't.
Looks like Don is King 9. He's got top 2 pair over there. But Barry Woods is going to come out and bet here. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet $60. Jack is going to call. He's got a straight draw and a flush draw. Jack's hand is really big. But look at Don. He's got top 2 pair. I mean, Jack's hand is almost big enough over there in seat 9 to go to war with. And Don's going to raise it up. He's going to make it $260 to go. $60 bet. He's going to raise it 200 more. And Barry calls. Oh, wait a minute. Ed is still in the hand with Queen 10. He might call with Queen 10. Unbelievable. He's made the call.
8, 10, 12 hours a day.
Barry Woods makes the call. And seat 9 makes the call. And quickly, we've got about a $1,200 pot going to the turn. The turn is a heart, and Jack has a made hand in seat 9. He's got the flush. And Barry Woods has made his straight. And Barry's going to bet with the straight, with Jack 10. He's going to bet $1,000. The pot is now $2,200. $1,000 to call for Jack over there in seat 9. See if we can get that masseuse out of there, because I can't see how much Jack has there. See, he looks like, I don't know if we can get a shot there, head on there. By
Started in playing your pot limit game.
he looks like he might have about 2,000 left.
Yeah.
He's got the flush, and he's going to move all in. He's going to move all in. It was a $1,000 bet by Barry Woods, and Jack has moved all in, and we'll see how much it is. We'll see how much it is, and what is Don going to do? I think Don can lay down the King 9 now, right? And let's call it 3,500. What do we say, about 3,000, 2,000 more for Barry to call here?
Yeah.
How much more is it? Let's see if we can get word from it. Oh, excuse me, it's only 1,000 more. Only about 1,000 more here.
How we can get in, whose team, and I said you bring your own team, home game.
Well, it's actually only 670 more here. Excuse me. So that means the pot, I want to say, is about 3,700. Only about 700 for Barry to call. But Barry does not have a heart in his hand. I mean, he's getting about 5 or 6 to 1, but he's drawing dead. And he's going to make the call, and Jack's going to take down over a $4,000 pot here. The river is an ace. Jack's going to take it down there with the flush. And Jack takes down again over a $4,000 pot. What a hand. Nice hand there. I think, again, it was an issue of, I thought that Jack actually had more money than he did. I mean, the pot was $3,700. It was about $670 for Barry to call.
That sounds
And Barry did not have a heart redraw, but
only one.
he just, I guess he decided to make the call there.
That sounds fun. That team thing.
Button's going to move over there to seat 5. Pocket Kings here for Mo in seat 2. And he's going to raise it up to 90.
I'll give you, I'll call you, but my battery's dead. So I'll give you it.
I'll do it after this.
And Ed is going to call.
You're going to laugh when you see this.
He's got Jack 10 offsuit there on the button.
Heads up again?
And we are heads up. Kings against Jack 10. Ace 6-5 here. And look at that. Mo checks, and then he knows exactly where Ed's at because Ed checks right behind him.
I got you there.
And Mo checks again. And Ed checks again. And the river's an 8. And Mo checks again. And again, you know, Ed is just not really advanced enough to use his position to bet Mo off of that hand. And Mo's going to take it down there with the pocket kings. If anyone used to watch Live at the Bike way back at its inception, back last February of 2005, Mo really used to mix it up, but he's really kind of tamed his game down a little bit. And he really plays it straight up now. It's interesting, you know, as the players get weaker, you tend to tighten up. And it's, you know, a situation where we saw Mike Wu in the Whale game on Wednesday. He really played straightforward when Ed was in the game the last couple of weeks, but he really mixed it up this past Wednesday because there were a lot of good players on the table. Now we had a raise here by Peter. Jack 3 of spades, and he takes it down. Email here from Phone Bone. He says, how easy is it to get in this game? Well, it's pretty easy. You just come down here. If you make it down here by 4 o'clock, you can find Mo, or you can find me. Introduce yourself and say you want to play in this game, and I guarantee you we will get you a seat. Going to take a look at another chip count here. Barry Woods, he's down. I think he's even down farther than that. I think he's down to about maybe 11 or 12,000. He's down about 5,000 for the night. George there, he's got about 7,800. He's up. And Sean is our big winner, up about 3,000 or 4,000 there at about 5,000. Although Mo has made a little bit of a win there too. He's up about 2,500. So right now it's between Mo and Sean with the biggest positive gain here.
Did you see traffic? It's written in directly by the same
Limp here.
Same type of
Raise 120 more.
What time do they turn the lights?
We get a raise here out of the small blind by Kenny Wynn. He's played just about as tight as anyone has. He's got ace-king offsuit. And no one's going to give him action. He takes it down.
I didn't want to play the live thing. I just wanted to play this game.
This game will usually go on.
Cocktails. It's Friday night. It's double fist night for me. I got to take it easy, though, because I got a party. I got my buddies, if he's listening there, he works for PwC, Price Waterhouse. And he's got an office outing. A bunch of young 20-something young ladies who are in accountants. I can't wait. Get all liquored up. I just love those female professionals, man. They can party like the best of them. Can't wait. We get a raise here by Barry Woods. He made it 60 to go with ace rag suited. And Sean's going to re-raise. He's re-raised with a lot of hands tonight. This time it's ace queen. He's going to make it 260. And hopefully Barry's been listening to Shirley, and he's not going to play this hand for a raise and a re-raise. He's not. And he was badly dominated. And Sean takes it down. And Barry, unfortunately, is not having a great night tonight. I mean, you got to be honest with you. I mean, from playing on this show, he's up tens of thousands of dollars tonight. I mean, throughout the year that he's been on the show. And it is just amazing. I mean, you just can't win every single night, right?
I can never find the thread.
Big line. Big line.
Yeah, they have a dedicated thread.
Buttons moved over here to seat 9.
Done all your homework.
And it looks like we got a couple players out of game seat 2 and seat 3. Action's on Ed Shanazarian. He's going to limp in here with king 7 suited under the gun. Sean is going to raise it up. He's going to make it 70 to go. He's got ace 5 offsuit, seat 7. And George Georgian's going to come in here with 9-10 offsuit. Don's out of there with queen 9. And again, like I said, you can see Ed come in with any 2 limp call cards. This time he's got king 7 suited. $200 three ways. Here we go. Queen, 10, 4, couple hearts. George has the best hand with middle pair, and it gets checked around. The turn is a jack. Sean actually has ace 4 over there in seat 7, but I don't think it's really going to make a difference. Let's see if George is going to bet. George didn't bet here. Wow. He's got 9-10. He's got a pair and an open-ended straight draw. The river's a 3. It's a third heart. And George just never bet, but he's going to take it down there with a 10-9. Ed was open-ended on the turn. He didn't hit the straight card on the river. And the Greek poker god takes it down there in seat 1. And George is saying, well, he must have something like ace-9 suited. Well, he had ace-5 offsuit.
Any kind of pair. I don't give a shit whether.
Well, folks, we're going to do a little bit of an old-school thing here. We're going to turn the table mics up here and turn my mic down for about 2 minutes. So check out old-school table talk.
Make it 16.
You know that there's this club circle over there? I'll get you every Tony. You know it. Tony, Swinback, he's analyzing everything, just arguing with me. So I use Corey's line. What, Tony? He said, shit, I'm telling you, come sneak.
How much for the buy-in for that event?
He looks at me for like 3-4 seconds.
Really? You got me in the first place, huh?
I hate people like that.
I don't even know what I've got, but whatever it is, I don't have a pair.
Yeah, we get a pretty interesting kick out of watching as well.
I mean, that's some bad flavor.
There's some
freaky shit going on
but
sometimes.
there's also some
Solid
I saw you in the World Series. You were playing the World Series. Huh?
play pretty solid.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah, but they win. Like, when you go RD, you play 10 hands, you know what's going on.
Yeah, we got a kick out of that one evening where the guy drove off the
Hard work. I don't think so.
Yes. Anytime you want.
Raise, make it 100.
about 6 weeks ago.
Let's.
Till 9.
At this game?
Hope you enjoyed that portion of Table Talk.
Yeah, that's until 9 o'clock.
Get a raise here by, looks like by George, and Ed is called with Queen Jack, and we're heads up here. Ace, ace, 9 on board. Check, check here. Turn is a 6. Check, check. And the river is a 9. Both players play aces and 9s with a queen. And I think that George Ed just mucked his hand. I don't even know if George bet there. Ed just, it went check, check, and Ed mucked his hand, but it would have been a chop. I mean, he basically had the second nut hand that wasn't a pair. He had queen high. Wow, that's really something.
Tell the guy on your left, I said,
See something new every night here at Live the Bike.
Yeah, I'm gun shy.
Actually,
I'm not the same man.
20 grand in 3 days. Me. For me, that's
Unbelievable.
So you think you're gun shy?
Okay, I'm not.
Button has moved over here to Ed Shanazarian in seat 5.
Oh, at 9-3 off when I pushed him. That hand with the jack. When I instantly pushed him.
Raise 80 more.
Been limped around, and Sean is going to raise it out of the big blind. He's got Jack 10 offsuit. And look at Peter, he's playing 8-3 of hearts. And Eddie's going to make the call here with Jack 10. $250 pot going 3 ways. Queen 7-7.
Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ.
And Sean is going to come out and bet here.
Yeah, no, it's not in the hand.
He's going to bet, and Ed makes the call.
No, it needs to be in hand.
Well, whoever's paying.
And here we go to the turn.
Yeah.
Turn is a jack, and Ed has hit a jack. He stuck around there. He had no draw. And he called with Jack 10, and now he doesn't bet on the jack. And the river's a king. Sean checks, and now Ed's going to bet. He's going to bet 200. Boy, was that hand played strangely. And Sean is like, I don't understand what's going on here. And Ed's going to take you down there with the pair of jacks. Wow, called there with... sometimes people can say, well, I can come down and kill this game at any time. Well, how about betting there with pocket aces? With the flop that's queen 7-7, having a guy call you on the button with jack 10, and then he catches running 10s. And you go broke. How about that? You definitely need a little bit of a bankroll for this game. We've seen it happen here on Live at the Bike before.
9-3 off.
9-3 off.
9-3 off.
You just saved $100. 2 sevens
Yeah,
come on the
2 sevens
flop.
on the flop.
No, if I was here, those 2 sevens is not going to come because I'm going to get the hand.
Oh, stop making excuses.
Limp here. Limp.
9-3 off. That time.
All right.
Barry's going to fold.
Jack 3-4 board.
Oh, yeah.
And we got four-way action limped around.
That's right.
$80 pot going to the flop. 9-4-5 with a couple of diamonds. It looks like Sean there in seat 7 has the best hand.
Bet 70.
And he's going to come out and bet there out of seat 7. He's going to bet 70. I don't think that he's going to get called by anyone here.
How I've been running the last 3 days. It matters. Trust me.
But look at this. Ed's going to make the call with jack 4. And here we go. Sean's trying to figure out this guy. The turn's a 10. It's a diamond. Sean checks. Ed checks to see if he has a diamond. And he's going to check right behind him. And the river's a king, and Sean's hand is good. Sean checks. And now Ed's going to bet 200. Could Ed have been on a... Wow, that is amazing. And Sean is trying to figure out Ed here. He's looking over there, and he's going to make the call. And the 9 is good there. And Sean should have waited there for Ed to turn over his cards, I think. But he didn't. And he takes it down, because I think he's trying to figure out Ed. Obviously, he hasn't played with Ed before. And I think he would have gotten a lot of information if he had seen the fact that Ed limped in with jack 4 offsuit, made a call on the flop with jack 4 offsuit, and played that hand in that manner.
The board came.
How can you guys remember things like this?
I mean, obviously he was calling because he thought he had the best hand, but why not get the information there and seeing the guy's cards as well?
Really?
And I could have. I
remember now.
I could have had any. Right. Ace, king, jack.
Got a post here by The Hero on 2+2. Said that Barry has 14,000. How are Sean and Mo the big winners so far? Well, Barry started off with more money. This is a cash game. You can start off with however much you want. And Barry, I think, has rebought as well. So that's why. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to figure out who's winning. Because obviously you can rebuy and go back in your pocket and add more chips to your stack at any time. So Mo, I think, is up about maybe 2,000 to 2,500. And Sean might be up right around that amount. And again, keep the players in mind because this is VIP night. The best player of the night voted by you, the viewer, will win 2 tickets to the Tiger Woods Target World Challenge of Golf next weekend in Thousand Oaks. It's a PGA event. Round passes to either Saturday or Sunday, 3rd or 4th round.
Saying Peter. I said, who's Peter, man? I mean, are you calling St. Peter or something? And he says, no.
Well, Ed's got king deuce offsuit in seat 5, and he's going to limp.
Peter.
King rag offsuit. Sean's got an ace deuce offsuit, and you can see that the game has turned a little bit passive. He's been raising with a lot of hands in position. Let's see if George is going to make the call with pocket 3s there from the big blind. He does. And Ed is dominated with his king deuce. Again, he's going to limp call with any number of hands. This time it's king deuce offsuit. Here we go to the flop. Jack, Jack 4. Let's see if George leads out here and sees where he's at. But George is somewhat passive. He's going to check. Is Sean going to make a continuation bet here? In seat 7? He is. He's going to bet 150. See how George plays it here with pocket 3s. He's not going to get involved. And Ed does not get involved either. And, boy, George was in really good shape there with pocket 3s against ace deuce and king deuce. But he never really got any information with you know, maybe throwing a bet out there. And Sean continued and led with a continuation bet and took it down. Button moves over there to seat 9, and that's Jack. And actually, Jack is up quite a bit too, I want to say. Figure that out. He won that one big pot off of Barry Woods with a flush against the straight.
Maybe I gotta stack up like that.
We got a limp here by Don in seat 4 with a gap-suited connector. Ed limps in with 9-4 offsuit in seat 5. Mo has got King Jack in the big blind, and he checks it. 4-way action.
I like these.
$80 pot. Jack 6-3. Mo's got top pair. Sometimes he likes to check raise with these hands. See what he does here. But George is going to come out and bet here as a bluff. He's got a gut shot to the 4. Let's see how Mo plays it. And Mo is going to raise. He is going to make it 170. So he raises at $100 there with top pair. Don's going to fold his middle pair there. Ed's out of there, and I'm sure George is going to get out too. Well, wait a minute. George is going to call. He's going to call for the gut shot. Pot's about 400. Here we go to the turn. Turn is an ace. It's a heart. Let's see if George can use the heart. No, he checks, and Mo checks right behind him. And the river's a queen. And George just gives up. Wow. George checks, and now Mo is trying to figure out if might he have to bet here to win. Now he's just going to check it down. Well, and George just mucks his hand there. I mean, if George is going to call for a gut shot, why not use that heart as a bluff card? I don't think that Mo would have called on the turn.
Oh, he's not going to play here.
I mean, sometimes we talk about that. You can, maybe peel there for your 4-outer, but you can also use something else as your bluff card. And I think that was a perfect opportunity that went to waste there for the Greek poker god.
The table that Professor plays in, the casino has to give free Tylenol and acid.
Buttons moved over here to seat 1.
Like that.
Georgian. He's got pocket 3s. And look at this. Ed's got ace-king suited this time, and he limps in. So again, any 2 cards. And I think that he might be trying to play a limp re-raise here, but I don't think he's going to get it. Now, the problem for Ed here is that unlike some other players, but a lot of other players do the same thing, if he doesn't hit the flop, he'll stick around while he's hit the ace. Ace 8-5 with a couple of diamonds. Now, Barry's got ace-6 here. Is he going to get in trouble? And Ed checked. And Barry has bet 110. And I got to tell you, if Ed check raises me over the top here, the ace-6 should go in the muck quickly. Let's see what Ed does. He's going to make it 410. Barry really needs to get out of this hand right now. When does Ed show any strength? I'm trying to use my ESP to guide Barry here. He shows the ace. When do we see Ed show any strength and Barry wisely folds?
It's over.
And again, I think that Ed was probably... He was probably playing the limp re-raise there. And did not get it, but hit his ace. And like I said, the problem is that if the flop comes, deuce 3-8, Ed would have stuck around like a limit player and peeled with overcards. And it's not just Ed that we see that. We see with other players too.
When did Jay get busted or what happened?
Probably have 2 pairs.
Of course he did. I mean, he's not here.
Button moves over here to seat 2, and Mo's got ace-jack offsuit. See if he raises it up here.
Raise it, make it 120.
He's going to make it 120, and he's going to take out on the blinds.
Show me, because I almost raised it. Show me.
And he shows the ace-jack. He says, I got to raise that on the button, right? Well, not a bad hand on the button to open raise with in late position. And again, stick around and, we'll be giving you some information about when I'm going to play Corporation Mike heads up in a series of best 2 out of 3 matches for $1,000 each. We've been getting emails about when are we going to see the announcers play on the show? Well, we played way back when. And we'll start to try to get ourselves slotted in here occasionally. We got a raise here by Sean in seat 7. He's got King Queen offsuit. And Peter's going to make a call on the button with 8-7 offsuit. And Ed is in there with King 6. And Peter is in there in seat 3 with 7-8 offsuit. We have Don's cards up there in seat 4. The flop comes 9-7-3. And it gets checked to Peter, and he's going to bet here with middle pair. He's going to bet 100. And look at this. Sean makes the call with King Queen. Wow. The turn's a 7, and Peter's got trips. Check to Peter. And he's going to bet 300. And if Sean's setting up a move, he's in big trouble.
Brian couldn't open both of them on the flop.
And he's going to fold. And Peter's going to take it down there with the trip 7s.
Thank you, sir. All right, you know what? I'll take jacks.
You take jacks?
Yes, sir. Get some...
Thank you, sir.
Button moves over there to seat 4. It's Don.
Call again.
Call game.
For you. We can do that.
Take one, I got in trouble one day.
Barry Woods has the big blind. It's been a little bit of a rough night for Barry tonight. But he's always in good spirits. We've got about, I'd say maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes left in the show. Hope you guys are all enjoying me solo. Trying to keep it real here in Bell Gardens, California. Button is raised here.
50.
He's raised it up to 50. He's got ace-8 offsuit. And Ed Shonazarian is going to mini re-raise out of the small blind to 100. He's got King-Queen offsuit. Jack is over there with pocket deuces. He probably can make this call with all the money he has. And it's interesting that he folds. When I see a player fold there, I wonder if they understand the fundamentals of deep stack poker. And Ed is going to call with 8-4 suited. I mean, I really think that Jack could have made that call. Here we go to the flop. King 9-3. Well, Ed's got top pair. He's going to bet 200 here. And he's going to take it down. I mean, especially against a player like Ed. If you flop pocket deuces and Ed hits any part of that and it's top pair, you are going to get all of his money. All of it is going to go in if that flop came King 9 deuce.
Remember Jay, that Indian guy was...
And again, I'm not just saying this out of my, talking out of my ass. I know these guys plays pretty well. And you really should be familiar with your players when you're playing in a table, especially at these types of stakes.
I doubled him up twice around 7 yesterday and 7:30. So that's the money you guys want. My money.
No, because I doubled them up. He doubled me up before he got there.
Yeah, but that's my money. That's what I'm saying. I doubled
Dripping all over the goddamn place.
Snake?
It's up to Ed.
Oh, it's up to Ed?
It is. Yes, sir.
And again, I think that the VIP poll on 2+2
About you, small boy.
is going to start around 8:30. Vote for the player that you think has played the best tonight. And we haven't seen like a lot of, we haven't necessarily seen a lot of play, but I got a couple of ideas in my head. We got four-way action limped around. Jack 7-3. Kenny Wooden's got pocket 8s over there. He's not going to bet there with only one overcard. But Peter is going to bet 100. He's got ace 7.
100.
And let's see what Kenny Wynn does here with pocket 8s.
Coming in with 9 and 5 offsuit.
Wow, that's very, very tight passive. And Peter is going to take it down. So Peter has got a little bit of an upswing tonight.
Yes, sir.
Button's going to move over there to Barry Woods in seat 6. Again, we haven't seen a lot of big hands tonight. Just the nature of the game. George is going to limp in here, early position. We need to see his cards over there in seat 1. He's got 6-9 suited. Peter's going to limp in with a couple high Broadway cards. He's got Queen Jack offsuit. Barry Woods has got 7-6 offsuit. He's going to limp in on the button. And Kenny Wynn's going to come in there. In the small blind, we got 5-way action. Limpers plus the blinds. 10-4-10. No one has any part of this flop, as commonly occurs when the flop comes out with the pair. The turn is a king. Gives Peter an open-ended straight draw. Let's see if he's going to fire at it now in seat 3. No, it gets checked around to Barry, and he's going to bet. If no one wants this one, he's going to bet. He's going to bet 110. He's going to use his position.
Why are you stealing, bud?
And George says, why are you stealing?
Come on. Please, look at that smoke pot. Why are you stealing the pot, man? Stealing who?
I didn't just call, dude. Shut up.
But I can't beat the board. Reduce.
I suggest you fold.
And Barry takes it down there with the 7-6 offsuit.
I'm not stealing. You guys weren't betting. You gave me a chance to get there. No, you won.
Button moves over there to Kenny Wynn in seat 8.
I had nothing.
We've got several people away from the table.
Yeah, but in the hand. Will you, Brian? Come on.
And Ed has gotten up, and hopefully he won't be gone for the rest of the broadcast, like sometimes we see. It is raining here in LA. The one time it rains in a long time. This one's going to get chopped around to the blinds. Button's going to move over there to seat 9.
You know, I have the Hummer. Oh, yeah. The big orange one. And I got against the Target.
And Peter does drive a Hummer, too. He just got a new Hummer. I've seen it.
Those also, if you go to shopping and everywhere.
Well, there's another look at a chip count there. Barry's got about 14,000. George with about 7,800. Sean with about 5,000.
I got it's an advantage.
And again, Mo and Sean are probably the big winners. Well, Jack's got 4,000. I think he's up a few thousand as well. Kenny rounding out the bottom. And this one's going to get chopped around to the blinds.
You got it up there, right?
I did. It's okay, no, thank you. I appreciate it. It's okay. I did drop.
I know, this is the second one I took.
Come on, no.
Yeah. Button moves over here to Mo in seat 2.
You might find it a little wide.
3. Yeah. Send it. I know you like helping me out, but...
Limp.
Yes, I will.
Limp. And we're going to see 4-way action. $80 pot. King 7 queen. Looks like Peter's got a queen 10 there from up front, seat 3.
Is that medium?
But it's going to get checked around. The turn is an ace, and now Barry picks up a pair. But Don is going to come out, and he's going to try to steal it here.
Yes. 70.
He bets 70. Barry's going to call. Well, Don's got a pretty tight image. He hasn't played a lot. He tries to make it steal, but he's going to get called by Barry. And can Peter overcall here with his third pair and a gut shot to the jack? He's not going to. And we're heads up here between Don and Barry. And Barry has a lock on this hand. Here we go to the river. The river's a 10. And Don just shuts down. Barry's probably going to check right behind him. Barry's going to take it down there with the ace-3. Peter would have caught 2 pair there on the river, but I don't blame him for letting that one go on the turn.
You just doubled your money.
Thank you, Claire. Appreciate that.
And the button is going to move over there to seat 3. Again, are you stumped trying to figure out what to get your poker lover for Christmas? Think no longer. A month's subscription to Live at the Bike archives will delight the most sophisticated players you know. Just write to us at liveatthebike.com and we'll set your friend up with a free month's worth of viewing all of the past episodes. It's quick and easy, and it will make a wonderful stocking stuffer. Check it out. Gets folded around to the button, and Peter is going to limp on the button here. Looks like he's got 8-9 suited. And Don folded in the small blind, so we're heads up. Jack deuce against 8-9 of hearts. Ace 8-6 here. Gets checked to Peter. He's going to bet with second pair, and it looks like he's going to take it down.
Take 5, take 5.
Just going to throw it over there. You can throw it if you want. A little rude. Thank you very much.
There it is. Button's going to move over there to Don in seat 4.
I lived here until I was 21 and moved to Maryland for 8 months. I came back here. I moved to Washington for 5 months, bought property, and moved back here.
And Sean is in the big blind here. It's going to get folded around to Peter.
70.
Peter's going to raise it up to 70 with 8-9 offsuit.
Been raised to 70.
Barry's got queen 4 offsuit. He folds. Sean's going to play here in the big blind. We can't see what he has right now in seat 7. He's got king 8 suited. King 8 of hearts, so we're heads up. $150 pot. Ace 6 deuce. Sean's going to check. Peter's going to make a continuation bet.
I know.
150.
And he's going to take it down there. That's 150.
Good luck for us. Yeah.
Power position. Sounds like the shuffle machine's going to explode. These are new cards. It's a new deck.
You see that again, right?
Very, very interesting.
A little less than this money, and also the play is a little
last time I asked.
And the button moves over there to Barry Woods. English only, no rabbit hunting. No dealer abuse. That's our motto here at the Bicycle Casino. Big blind, Kenny Wynn here in seat 8. Ace 8 of diamonds over there for Peter in seat 3. Let's see if he's going to raise here. He's just going to limp. Barry's got deuce 7 suited on the button. He's going to fold. Small blind is going to complete. And I'm sure Kenny Wynn is going to check in the big blind. He's got ace 3. And here we go, $60 pot. Well, there's an ace here. Ace jack 8. Peter has got top and bottom. But look at this. Sean's going to come out and bet with bottom pair. Now, Peter's got 2 pair, and Kenny has top pair. A bet here by Sean. Kenny calls, and Peter says raise with ace 8. It's a $40 bet. And Peter's going to raise.
Raise it, make it 250.
He's going to make it 250 to go. And the way that Kenny's been playing, I can't imagine that he's going to call here with ace 3. Nope. And Peter is going to take it down. Peter really likes to bet strongly. Seems like he's overbet the pot a lot tonight. And that's not necessarily a bad thing if people are going to pay you off.
Thank you, Peter.
Button's moved over here to seat 7. Again, the last couple hours here, we just haven't seen a lot of big hands.
I know. And I think maybe I seen him one time. Someone text messaged me and said, "Say hi to the guy on your right." Somehow we both know the same person.
Oh, that's why 993. You find
that because he called me. Yeah. I didn't call and ask or anything.
King 10 offsuit here.
Text messaged me.
Raise it, make it 70.
You're going to raise here
Because when you
by seat 7.
I saw a little argument.
6-7 of diamonds. And the button's going to call here with ace-10 offsuit.
I was going to give him that anyway.
And here we go to the flop.
But I thought
Jack 8-5. So 6-7 of diamonds, the pre-flop raiser is open-ended here. And Kenny didn't hit a piece of it, so let's see if Sean continues to bet. And it looked like Sean might have checked. He did check. Is he going to check raise here?
Drive was good.
Oh, excuse me. Kenny is in first position, and he bets. Sean has the button. Sorry about that. And Sean is going to call. And here we go to the turn. The turn is a 3. It's a spade. Can Sean use that spade? But Kenny's got the nut spade draw now. It's about a $350 pot.
Check around.
But look at this. It goes check, check. And the river is a 5. And Kenny's good here with ace high. A little interesting little hand here. Kenny might think he needs to bet to win it. And he's going to bet. He's going to bet 320. And Sean is going to fold.
Do you mind switching me a white?
And Kenny takes it down.
Do you mind switching me a white?
Here it is. And the button is going to move over to seat 8.
Small blind, big blind, please. I think I know how he plays. He's in a pot, I'm out of his way. That's basically what it is. Small blind, push.
You call him Bish?
George.
I thought you called him Bish.
Everyone else calls me Bish.
Yeah. He
Oh,
calls
that's
me that.
15, Dave.
He puts my in front of it.
We got an email here, an interesting email from Chris Firth that I'm going to read after this hand. Don's got pocket kings in seat 4, and he's going to raise it up to 80. Barry Woods has got ace-10 of clubs. He's going to make the call. He's in position. George has got jack-10 of diamonds. He makes the call. Mo's going to muck queen-9. Peter's got ace-3 offsuit. He's not going to play.
You ever seen that?
3 players.
Yeah, we've got 3-way action. $250 pot going to the flop. 7-5 deuce. Pretty good flop for pocket kings.
I'm in a hand, man.
He's going to bet 300 in seat 4 of Don. Barry's going to fold.
That's 300.
And it looks like George is going to fold. Email here from Chris Firth. He says, I've been watching Live at the Bike almost from the beginning, but I'm usually playing at the same time, so I haven't emailed you until now. First, just want to say how enjoyable and informative the show is, and kudos to you, Dave and Shirley, and everyone on the production side. Regarding Mo, when the show started, Mo was by far the most interesting player to watch, playing his cards, players, and situations to maximize his wins. Over the past couple of months, he's tightened up his game and now plays much more straightforward. You've mentioned this on several occasions. A few reasons why. He's aware that players watch the archives and has adjusted his play accordingly. Number 2, he's had a couple of bad nights. The whale game he played and the show where Jonas outdrew his trips to hit a straight come to mind has tightened him up a bit. And 3, the games are generally bigger than they were at the beginning, and Mo always had a tendency to make more moves in the smaller games. Have you mentioned to Mo that he's playing a bit more straightforward? It would be interesting to hear his viewpoint. Well, thank you for the email, Chris, and I'll get to that after this hand. It got limped around, and Sean has checked top 2 pair here on the flop. The turn is an ace now. And now he's going to bet. Kind of a weak bet.
70.
He's going to bet 70, and he is not going to get a call here, and he is going to take it down. I have mentioned it to Mo, and he did tell me that I think it has to do more with the players. I mean, obviously the games are bigger. When we first started, our 510, 500 game was the biggest game. But, you know, if you can beat this game straight up, there isn't a lot of reason to make a lot of moves. There isn't reason to make a lot of moves. I mean, I think that we had some of the toughest lineups and players that really mixed it up. They weren't necessarily tight, but they knew exactly where they were at early on in the show.
Raise it.
Back in February, March, and April. And Mo used to like to mix it up with those guys. But now, you know, there's really no reason to.
150 more.
Now, Mo is raised here from the button. He's made it 170 to go. He's got King 10 offsuit. Excuse me, King 10 suited, and Don is going to call with Ace Jack offsuit. Now, Barry mucked King 10, so we're heads up here. Now, Mo has position on Don, 8-5-3, but look at this. Don's going to bet here. He missed. And he's going to bet 150, and look at Mo. He calls. Wow. Is Mo trying to pick up a spade draw here on the turn? The turn's a 4. Let's see if Don continues to fire. Don checks. And look at this. Mo's going to bet 500. This is the old school Mo that we knew. He uses his position, and he's going to take it down there with king high. And sometimes Mo has got great poker instinct there. Don came out and bet the flop. Both players had missed. Mo smooth call to see where Don was at. The turn came blank. Don shut down, and Mo stole it away from him. Nice play there by Mo.
Oh, yeah, David.
Little hands like that are really interesting sometimes.
Hold on, David.
And the button moves over there to Peter. And again, where is Ed Shanazarian? It's like, where's Waldo?
I know what it means to play. So he's got a home game tonight.
The button here is in C3. He's going to limp.
And probably a light, too.
You guys don't even know his name.
Queen 3-7 here on the board. Hey, look at this. Don's flop bottom 2 pair. It's an unraised spot. He's going to bet 50. And he is going to take it down. No action there.
If you have money, it's a little looser than okay.
Shit.
I've left.
This hook is at a tight level, man.
And the button moves over here to Don. Got about a half an hour left in the show. And this is going to round out the night for Live at the Bike. Again, on Friday, we probably will have either a limit game or a heads-up, some sort of heads-up match.
That Timmy little guy who was
Pocket jacks here for Barry in the small blind. But look at this. Peter's going to raise it up here. Peter has king-queen offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 70. Let's see what Barry does here. Is Barry going to re-raise? Peter has raised in seat 3 with king-queen offsuit. And Peter's going to make it 170 to go. Excuse me, Barry's going to make it 170 to go. And Peter's going to call. And here we go, folks. Heads up. King-queen against jacks. We've got a $350 pot going to the flop. Wow. King 4-king. Is Barry Woods going to get in trouble here? Peter's got trip kings. Barry bets 200. And let's see what Peter does. Peter might be the type of player that just moves right here. No, he's just going to smooth call. $750 pot. The turn's a 9. And oh boy, here we go, folks. And Barry's going to bet here again. He's going to bet 600. It's a $1,300 pot now. And Peter quickly calls. And the river is a queen. Peter fills up. Barry checks, and Peter moves all in, and Barry folds in frustration there. And Peter shows the king-queen.
That's possible, sir.
And Barry asks, when does Brian get his ass out of there?
Okay, someone beat you to the punch there.
It is not a good night here for Barry Woods tonight.
No, that's worth 5, man.
But like I said, you can't win them all every night, can you? I mean, he's definitely up serious money here from playing it Live at the Bike. But he's not having a great night tonight. Pot looks like it's limped around here. This game is really playing tight without Ed at the table. 4-way action. King 9-6 with a couple of hearts. Barry's open-ended. Peter has top pair, and he's going to bet 100. And Barry's going to call. And here we go to the turn. Heads up. Turns a queen. It's a third heart. Can Barry use the heart as a bluff card? Peter checks. Nope, but Barry takes the card, and the river's a queen. Peter checks again, and Barry checks. Peter's going to take it down there with the king.
Thank you, Peter.
Button moves over here to seat 7. Big blind in seat 8. Or excuse me, small blind. Yes, yep. Small blind in seat 8. Big blind in seat 9.
That's where you know the tips.
Very generous. It's always
Limp. Ace king of diamonds here on the button.
You got the nuts every time, huh?
He's going to raise it up. He's going to make it $100. There's Sean.
Coincidence?
Kenny playing tight. He's going to muck the jack 9. Now Barry's got pocket deuces. Peter's going to come in with a suited connector. He calls. And Barry calls with looks like pocket deuces. So here we go. We've got a $300 pot going 3 ways. Jack 7-4. The flop misses everyone. Barry has the best hand. Yeah. Is Peter going to bet here on a semi-bluff? It's a $300 pot.
300.
And it gets checked around to the button. Oh, excuse me. Now Barry has bet 300 here with pocket deuces. Can't tell if it was. No, excuse me. It was the button. He bets 300 and a fold here. Button moves over here to Kenny Wynn in seat 8.
Am I getting a setup now? I keep having a problem with this bet.
Got about a half an hour left in the show. We're going to take a look at another setup here. Well, again, hopefully by this time somebody has set up a poll about who you think the best player is here. Maybe on 2+2. Or you can email us at live@thebike.com. Again, boy, it really seems like with Ed not at the table, the action has slowed down to a halt. And we've got, look at that, Hob and Allen there. Maybe one day they'll play this game.
789, the float, right?
And Brian's going to get his setup. Button's moved over there to seat 8.
And there's a flush draw on there too. It was a horrendous call.
And Mo is in the big blind. Is George sitting out here? Oh, no, he's in the small blind.
Yeah.
We got Jack and Ed sitting out of the game there in seat 9 and seat 5.
What isn't brutal around here? Bad River was brutal.
Bad River was.
Folded around to the blinds, and they're going to chop it up.
I mean, can you believe this guy says
Button's moved over there to seat 9. George in.
No matter, even if he still has the best hand, I can't lose because he said Bad River.
And Peter's got the big blind there. Again, we're playing 10-20. No limit hold'em. The brownish red chips are $10 chips. The white chips are $100 chips, and the yellow chips are $5 chips.
To what? Nothing.
Pocket kings here for Don again in seat 4.
70.
He's going to raise it up to $70. Barry Woods is going to make the call with ace 9 offsuit. Uh-oh. He might be getting a little bit frustrated. And George is in there with king 10. Wow. Against one of the tightest players on the table in early position. 3-way action, about a $200 pot. Ace 10-9. Barry is rewarded for playing ace rag. Don's going to bet here. He's going to bet 230. And Barry's going to call. Now, George has got a gut shot in bottom pair, but he's out of there. And the pot's about $750. The turn's a 5. Don's going to bet here again. He's going to bet 400. And look at that board, man. I mean, the only thing you might be able to beat if you're Barry here is jacks or kings. And he's going to raise now. He's going to find out where he's at. He's going to make it 800 to go. $400 bet there by Don. Barry makes it 800 to go. I want to say the pot's about $1,900, 800 to call. And Don's going to fold. And Barry's going to take it down there with the ace 9.
Check. Don't worry. If I see you ever again here, I'm going to know how you play.
Oh, is he the white guy?
Button's moved over there to seat 2.
He always sends a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to be here anytime.
That's Mo.
He sits, Dimitri, he sits with like 100,000, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one, and Jesus, he was coming down here. That's the Mexican guy. These three in one game.
Forget about it.
You can't play the game.
50.
I didn't see my hand, actually.
They spent some money to make this table, huh?
And there, Kev Mathis set up that little poll. Who do you think the best player of tonight is going to be? Fortunately, I think he's added a choice that says none of the above. Three-way action here. 9, 6, 8 here on the flop. And Mo's going to bet here with ace 8. He bets 60. And Peter's going to call, but look at Don. He's got king 9.
160.
And Don is going to check raise to 160. And Mo calls. Mo's going to call here with ace 8. And here we go to the turn. The turn's a 6. Peter would have made trips.
All in?
And Don's going to bet 400 here.
I don't want to see what
And it looks like he's shaking pretty good. And Don is going to take it down there. I don't know. Evelyn, can none of the above be an option? Can we not give the tickets out to these guys here?
Thank you, sir.
I think we're going to have to. Button's moved over here to seat 3.
How were the games at the Commerce?
No, see the archive. Okay.
Pocket aces here for George in seat 1.
I was new right.
And he's going to raise. Look at this. I think he how much did he make it here? He made it 200 with pocket aces. Wow. Unbelievable. That's a big raise. He takes down the blinds. This is the worst hand. It's aces.
That hand is so bad.
I hate it.
How much for buying today? I love it. Yeah.
And he takes it down.
I want to pull 200.
When you see the first one, I didn't want to see it.
Man, I was so much money on that.
I'm just trying to get you off a thing right now.
Button moves over here to seat number 4.
I got a little pretty in my hand. Now I'll give it all away. That's the feeling I get.
Queen Jack suited here for Barry in the small blind.
Speak up, why? Nobody cares about my crap.
And Peter's going to raise it up here.
Raised to a total of 90.
He's going to make it 90 to go. But look at this. Seat 1 had limped with ace-king. And Peter only has 10-6 offsuit. Is George going to play the limp re-raise, or is he just going to play this passively? He just calls. And I got to tell you, with what's out there, this flop might miss everyone. And Peter might take it down with a continuation bet. Here we go to the flop. And the flop comes 9-4-3. Let's see if Peter can bet this here.
One of them is, but I need 2 of them.
And let's see how much he's going to bet.
300.
He's going to bet 300, and he follows through. And I think he's going to take this one down. And this is a great way to attack a passive table. Raise in position, follow through with a bet, and he takes it down. 10-6 offsuit. There it is.
So is that going to make it back before we're all
And he says, check the archives. Check the archives. And Kenny Wynn is going to move you over here from seat 8 to seat 9. And Barry Woods has got pocket queens here on the button.
The amount to call the
Raise it, make it 90.
We got a raise here. Oh, boy, George Georgian's got pocket aces. He's made it 90. And this could be trouble here for Barry Woods.
I changed up my game. Mo said that. My game.
But again, look at George. The only hands that he raises with are queens, aces, and kings. He limps in with ace-king. He limps in with Jackson below. And here we go to the flop. Oh, and it's rags. 10-6-4. And Barry Woods could lose big here, folks. Turn this one on. And look at this. George checks. And Barry bets 100. And look, let's see what George does here. He's going to check raise. He's going to make it 300 to call. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, and Barry Woods comes over the top for a great chip. He makes it 1,000, and George moves all in. George has moved all in for about $5,000 here. And this is the issue here with Barry Woods. We've never seen him lay this hand down. We've never seen him lay an overpair down with this type of board, folks. The pot is about $6,000, $5,000 for Barry Woods to call. Here it is. We have not seen him make this laydown. It's against George. Run it back in your head, Barry. And he shows him, and he lays it down. Bravo for Barry. Nice laydown. And I got to tell you, I mean, George just plays it so straightforward. And look, can we see the rabbit? Oh, we missed it. The rabbit cam on the turn showed a queen. He would have hit a queen if he had just smooth called. If Barry Woods had just smooth called the flop and not had re-raised, although he did re-raise for information, a queen would have come on the turn. Unbelievable. And that really would have been something. But that's a nice lay down there from Barry Woods. When things aren't going well, things aren't going well. I think he only makes that lay down there to George. But again, it's just like George. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't have a problem with somebody playing it straightforward. But the guy limps in with ace-king or Jackson below. And then he check raises and he moves all in. You have to put him on aces or a set. I mean, it's so predictable.
Raise 50 total.
The button has raised here to 50.
Put my 10 back here. 44 to me. 40 more to me.
No,
It's 40 more here to Peter.
Okay.
We had a raise here, I believe, by Sean?
50
Or was it by Barry?
Raise to 50.
Raise to 50.
It was Sean. And George is called. We can't see his cards over there in seat one. We've got four-way action. It's a $200 pot. George has got king 7 off suit. Wow. Here we go to the flop. 10-3-8. Barry's hand is good here with pocket 4s. And look at this. Sean does not bet. Look at the difference between Sean and Peter. Peter bet at the flop when he raised in position, and Sean doesn't. Well, now he's got a pair of 9s, and now he is going to bet. Peter has a flush draw. He's going to bet 150 here, Sean. And Peter is going to check call here.
Two players.
And I would love to have seen Peter maybe make a move there. And the river's an ace, and he's got the diamonds. Oh, and Peter checks it down. He was hoping maybe Sean would throw a bet in there, but he doesn't. And Peter's going to take it down there with the flush. And Peter says, I guess I have to bet the river there. But I don't know if Sean would have called. Interesting hand there. Now we're going to take a look at a chip count here. Now Barry Woods, boy, he's down big. He's got to be down close to 8,000 or 9,000 tonight. George Georgian up to 7,500. Peter up to 5,000. Sean at about 4,900. Mo at 4,400. And then the big winner tonight we'll get to, because I'm not exactly sure who has got the most chip movement tonight.
$80.
Buttons moved over here to seat 9.
80 altogether. Yes.
$80 raise here by, it looks like, Sean there in seat 7 with 9-6 suited. And he's going to take it down.
Yeah, that's it, right away. That's all right.
And the button's going to move over there, seat 9. We got a new player coming into seat 8. The last 10 minutes of the show, Jerry. Kenny Wynn is taking his... He's out of there.
So why did you call? What? You know,
I know what
see, this is why I watch your game on Sunday so we can talk, because it's dead on Sundays besides this game. Then I can talk.
Maybe
See what I'm saying?
here by Barry Woods. 10-3 suited. Interesting. And we get a raise here by seat 9. And excuse me, that's Kenny Wynn. He moved over to seat 9, and he made it 100. He's got ace-queen suited, and he's played it pretty tight all night. He's not going to get any action. And he takes it down without resistance. So it looks like, again, get your vote in there, 2+2, but it looks like Peter is the one that is winning here, and I almost have to concur. Some votes here for Mo. A lot of votes for none of the above.
I can't figure out what it is.
But I got to tell you that Peter, he's won some money. I don't know if he's the big winner tonight, but he probably has played the best tonight.
90.
He really has followed through with some of his raises. We get a raise here by Barry Woods with ace-queen suited. George Georgian's going to call pocket 7s.
Which is like the most frustrating thing. You know?
4 players.
Here we go. Jack 6-9 here on the flop. And Barry Woods has flopped the nut flush draw with overcards. And he's going to bet 300, about the size of the pot.
300.
Jack 6-9. And actually, George doesn't have pocket 7. He's got 7-4 suited. He folds. Peter's got middle pair here. And he's going to think about it, Arrow. No, he's not going to get involved. And Barry Woods is going to take it down.
Thank you, man.
I wish I knew you were going to pull.
Yes, I am.
Again, we got about 5 minutes left in that voting, but it looks like Peter is in the lead here, and the button moves over to Peter for the VIP, very important player. Peter can check out the PGA event up there in Thousand Oaks.
Where's Ed?
Peter's got ace-8 suited, and that's a great question there by George. Ed's been gone from the table for over an hour.
70.
Unbelievable.
Smoking outside.
He's bet $70 here, Peter.
Can you go there and tell him the player wants
No.
Oh,
Don't do
really?
that.
He comes, yeah.
Take one of those.
And Peter's going to take it down there.
Yeah, he's sounding okay.
The cigarette is this long.
Yeah, okay, come on.
I don't know, the cigarette is 3 feet long.
Peter's got king-queen offsuit over there in seed 3.
But you didn't get it one time. Is this interfering with your smoking and other crap? Yeah, let us know. We'll move the game out there and make it work.
Yeah, we put the table right outside in the rain.
100.
And we get a raise here by Mo, 6-5 suited. And Peter's going to call. He's going to call with king-queen, which is sometime a trouble hand. And Ed is finally back with about 5 minutes left in the show.
No, it hasn't been exaggerate everything.
It's been an hour, Ed. We're going to see, looks like 4-way action here. $400 pot. King 7-4, and Peter's got the best hand here with king-queen. Now, Mo was the raiser. He's open-ended. And this is going to be interesting. Because if it gets checked to Mo, Mo might make a continuation bet with the semi-bluff. George checks. And Mo's going to bet 200 here. Let's see what Peter does. He's just going to call. And the pot now is $800. Here we go to the turn. The turn's an ace. That might be a scare card for Peter. And Mo's going to bet here. He's going to bet 600. And look at that bet there. If he puts Peter... And look at this, though. Peter makes the call. And here we go to the river. The river's a queen, and Peter's made 2 pair. And Mo's going to bet again here.
900.
He's going to bet 900. And Peter's going to make the call. And he's going to take down over a $2,000 pot there with King Queen. More like a $3,000 pot. Mo just kept betting and betting and betting. And Peter, what a call there on the turn with King Queen. Put Mo on a bluff. Peter made the call. And, with that pot, I think that Peter is probably the big money winner as well as our VIP player tonight. Nice performance there by Peter. He's up close to $3,000 now, I think.
He took my money? Yeah. Take my money every night. Makes you happy I thought I was losing.
I mean, Mo kept betting there on the scare card, but Peter made a nice call.
I think you were right.
I didn't know what he put Mo on there, but he made the right call.
Sixth player.
King 10-8 here, 6-way action, limped around.
How about ace? 40.
How about ace? How about ace?
Seat 2 is going to bet $40 here. George, he's got an open-ended straight draw. Ed calls with the open-ended straight draw. Barry calls with ace 3. Maybe he's trying to make a move if he picks up club draw on the turn here. And actually, you know what? Mo bet here, was 6-9. And he's going to bet again. And he's going to bet 500. He's picked up a flush draw with his open-ended straight draw. Ed folds. Barry folds. And George folds. And Mo is going to take it down. And folks, this is going to be the last hand of the night. And I am going to declare Peter the winner of these 2 tickets. Peter played pretty well tonight. And he was the big money winner as well.
Yeah. Over here.
So there it is. Peter there in seat 3. Thank you again for joining us this week, live at the bike. Last hand of the night. Peter's going to limp in here. Looks like he's got a little gap-suited connector. Hope everyone enjoyed Bart and the solo mission tonight. 5-way action here, limped around. 10-4 deuce with a couple of spades. Looks like Ed's got top pair there in seat 5.
70.
And we got a $70 bet here by Ed. Again, the board reads 10-4 deuce with a couple of spades. But look at this, seat 8 is going to check raise with 270 with queen deuce. Does he know who he's check raising? This guy just came into the game. Ed's got top pair. Are you kidding me? He's rated at $200 more. Boy, this guy's going to need to get a little bit more familiar with his players. And Ed isn't going anywhere. And he's going to make the call. And now what's Jerry going to do? We've got about a $600 pot. And look at this. The turn's a deuce. Jerry's hit trips. And he checked it. And Ed is bet, and Jerry's moved all in. He hit a deuce. What a lucky suck out. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. Deuce of diamonds on the turn here. Unbelievable suck out. And Ed's going to make the call. And unfortunately for Ed, he's drawing to a 10. And here we go to the river. And the river's a queen, and Jerry fills up. Unbelievable suck out. Wow. Jeez. Jerry's making a move there on Ed, and Ed bet the flop. You got to probably put him on a minimum of a top pair when he makes a strong motion. And the guy in seat 8 got lucky. Well, what a hand to end the night. Congratulations to Peter for winning these 2 ground passes to to the PGA event next week in Thousand Oaks, Tiger Woods Target World Challenge. He was the VIP, very important player, as well as the big winner for tonight. Well, please join us again next week, starting on Monday, for a whole new round of episodes. Of course, we stream live webcast games every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 Pacific time. Monday will either be a limit game or a heads-up match between probably a team of Mo and some other random people that you have seen here in the past. So for everyone here in the booth, I'm Bart Hansen. I hope you have a great weekend. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Is audio on? Is it working? Yeah, working.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.